Eons ago, during the age of the Magi, the world was something other. Magic is all that there was and all that was needed. Legend states that a cataclysmic event brought a great frozen age to the world of Lacrin, and soon after, a new era dawned. Though they say the ancient magics of the Magi still lie buried and lost, scattered around the world, lying in wait for those with the courage to wield it to discover. Welcome to the world of Lacrin and the continent of Thelmecia. Noble knights, roaming orcs, mischievous goblins, and idyllic wondrous lands, just waiting to be explored. Now, a new peril aspires to plunge Thelmecia into despair once more, but not before a few unheard-of heroes take their chance at triumph. Welcome to Tablestory, Darkfire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. There's nothing like hearing the word slut just 2 seconds before you go live. Thank you, Tiger, to help me to stay concentrating on.
I called Brad a slut right
presentation.
I didn't even hear that.
Hi, everyone.
I was just making it up.
Welcome to the stream. It is Le Tablestory is a Darkfire.
How come I can't host? Hello?
Is tentatively called Endgame.
How
But
dare you?
I'm only calling it Endgame so we can get on some trending stuff on Twitter. Promise. Also, you're in the Endgame. Welcome back, John. Congratulations.
Promise.
Thank you.
Promise.
Wait, are you congratulating me on my 20 new Teslas or that little baby thing?
Jesus
The
Christ.
Teslas, okay? It's not hard to have a baby,
Tesla.
right? Everyone can get a baby, but not everyone can get a Tesla. All right?
I just imagined, anybody in here that's old enough remembers they still have them, but like the little, like tiny powered little baby, like Jeeps that you could get and stuff like that when you
They have those in Tesla version. Is that what you're going to say?
I'm just saying, I almost feel like if you don't have one in Tesla.
Dude, they're like $4,000.
Oh my God.
Literally. If you
Bloody hell.
get people to use your code, like, I think like if you get 3 people to buy cars, then you get a free one of those. Those little mini Teslas.
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining Bryce.
Dude, he would,
You would kind of love it.
he'd probably kill people in it because it's so quiet.
God,
Okay.
I'm looking at the
Might kill his little
pictures of
sister with
these. I'm looking at the pictures of these, and even the kids look like douchebags.
Wait, what are you saying? Tesla drivers aren't douchebags.
Okay, John.
Wow.
John, wait a minute. I'm gonna give
Wait, I
you
gotta
the
look at
look,
these.
John.
All
You're
right.
gonna tell me that kid does not look douchey.
Wait, which kid? Oh, there we go.
I put it in the Zoom chat.
She looks so happy.
Yeah, right.
That looks photoshopped. That doesn't even look real.
A, that looks photoshopped, and it is. And B, her face though, it's very much like a "I'm gonna run you over" face. Here, chat. There you go.
I'm
That's it.
scared to click the link. Frankly,
Reserve parking for
I'm just
Alec.
going to leave. I'm just going to leave it. I'm scared to click the link.
Yeah.
Not too scary.
I don't want to be tilted out this early.
There is a kid that does have one of those, not the Tesla one, but like a mini car that comes to the local coffee shop all the time with his mom, and he drives the entire way, and then his dog is like next to him. Yeah. He rides on the sidewalk.
Is he a cool kid?
I mean, yeah, he seems really nice. I haven't introduced myself already.
You have to meet
Hey,
everyone
you
at
seem
Tesla.
really cool.
Yeah, like
Hi, my
Yeah,
name's
it's not
Karen. Nice
that's
to meet
that's
you.
a nice little car, and they'd be like, "Oh, psycho."
How do you
Yeah.
give a kid
I don't
that?
think-
That's
I
gonna
don't
get
think
smashed to
anybody-
shit.
PB could call, like, if you walked up to like a kid that I had, I'd be like, who is this, like, really whole? There's no way. Nobody's ever gonna think you're a creep, PB. Unless
Okay.
you're really a creep.
I
No.
already think PB's a creep. Okay.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a video of PB's robot perspective every time she interacts with him. That would be a hilarious 10-minute video. Just like the hands and like the tickling and like the like look how excited. Look at that
It's like
face.
something out of Bobby's World. You know, like that. It's
I
like
love that so much.
like weird, like
As long as I
fisheye
could
lens, like and Pee-wee's like.
If I could design the UI like my ideal robot. Okay, whatever. Nope. We're done talking about robot stuff.
You love robots.
I love robots so much.
You are a robot.
I would love
she
to be a
could be.
robot. I would love to be
I would be a robot too. I would 100%.
Oh God.
You technically are.
Actually, technically, he really isn't. Technically, it's like a golem, I guess. Is that what a warforged is? It is.
Oh,
in
I
my
thought we were
world.
talking about me in general, and then you
No, it's like
Oh,
And I was
him
like,
being
I
a
don't know if I should be
tiger.
offended or not.
Tiger isn't a robot.
I think a robot is like the ultimate compliment. They have complete control of their emotions and logic, and robots are awesome.
Look at her. She's so
Yeah. I am smitten with robots.
Isn't that just like a weird sociopath though? Like, wouldn't that be
Probably, which explains my obsession with serial killers as well.
All right. Well, glad this show is coming to an end. What
You can
the
never be
fuck?
my friend again.
No, I'd just like to apologize for all the roasts, the Karen meme, all that. You know, please
What?
don't.
Why?
Because you're a serial killer and you just admitted it. Okay, that's
No.
why. Okay, don't kill me.
No, I'm like being a murderino is not the same as being a serial killer.
Yeah.
I think anybody that
I'm
says
sorry,
the word
what did you say?
murderino,
Oh my god.
I think anybody
Okay.
that uses the word murderino is 100%
A
a murder.
serial killer.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, murderinos, please back me up. I'm not the only one, right?
Hey,
Help me out.
please back me up.
Murderinos?
Murderino is just the term for the podcast.
That
My
is the
favorite
term
murder.
for murdering a burrito.
That's
TB.
no, a
Murderino.
murderino is like what the person at Starbucks serves you when they fucking hate you. Throw in the fucking hot sauce.
Wow.
And
Oh
like,
my God. No,
Okay.
it's just, I swear, it's just the term for the fans of the podcast, My Favorite Murder. And they just sit down and talk about like interesting murder cases.
It really makes me think about a burrito. Like I'm about to
Well,
just
now I'm hungry, but yeah.
Murderito. Maybe I'm just saying it different.
Murderito?
Half of your stream is you talking about food, though.
That's true.
Me?
No,
Or
Tiger.
Tiger? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Your entire stream is just you talking about you.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, it was Karen. Okay, it was a Karen joke.
How dare?
Oh my god, like every streamer isn't.
It's like weird that you almost sound like
egotistical
PB when you use that.
Wow.
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh
about.
my god, I do not. You're silly.
Wait, can I try this too?
Yeah. Oh
not
my
you,
god, it's
John.
Karen and the Karens, everybody. Put your hands
Karens!
together
What's
for
up,
Karen and the
Karens? We're gonna have some
Karens.
fun today.
Oh my god, I love robots.
Oh my god, I love murdering people so much. It's like my favorite thing. There's only two things in this world that I love more than killing people, and that's my fellow murderinos and myself.
Oh my god. I like a mocha frappuccino better than both of those things, but killing people's totally dope.
Anyway, PB.
I order a
the-
coffee straight black, by the way, at Starbucks, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, and then you
God.
kill the barista.
Hate you.
We killed Tiger. He's dead. Tiger's dead.
Yeah,
Tiger is dead, yeah, murdered.
legitimately ended it.
He
Murdered.
can process all the Karen.
Too much Karen. Too
So
little time.
there can never be too much Karen. Please do follow Pumpkinberry on Twitch, twitch.tv/Karen.
Karen. Yeah, thank you. Right there with you that time.
Keep talking,
Karen.
guys. I'm trying to get my whole thing.
No, let's
Ready?
start playing
Are we
because we're going to be starting
okay.
with Drift today. As if John isn't stressed enough from having a child. He got 7 minutes sleep last night, I think he said.
No. Last
Oh.
night was the first sleep I've gotten. 7 hours.
Yay.
Congratulations. No, John did
yeah,
actually
congrats.
have a child. He gave birth to it last week. The wee
Baby
baby Hasmol.
Baby Hasmal. I asked the wife, and she said, "Fuck no." What does that mean?
What is
Like,
it called?
Did you just call my baby an it?
I call all babies an it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
Liv.
being very generous to gender right now.
L-I-V.
Brad is learning to
that
be a
works.
better human being.
If there's one
That
thing that the
works, he
gender
says
fluid
to her.
community love, it's when I refer to them as it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's really going to work.
I think it's a step for you, Brad.
Yeah, thank you. I am getting there. Yeah, congratulations, John. Well done. Soulless.
Thank you.
Soulless me. We're all disappointed, honestly, that you didn't call it Hasmol.
Sorry.
It's no matter what to us. Like
us.
the first day I ever meet that child, I'm like, oh, what's up, Hasmo? Like,
What's up, baby Hasmol?
Like, there's no chance.
It's gonna be like, what the? Do you like fire? That's PB when PB meets the baby.
He's got a lighter like, do you like fire?
Oh, come on, that's terrible. I swear I'm good with kids.
So good.
Anyway, D&D. Enough of our awful personalities. There's the
One fire murderino, please.
one fiery murderino, please. I get so derailed. Like my brain, I get into the zone. I get prepared to like run this game. I'm
ready,
really
let's
like
do it.
ready to GM, and then this part completely just undoes everything.
The best part.
It's
Yeah,
a
I know.
loosen.
Oh,
We're loosening
thank you.
up.
We're human.
We're all just
Yeah.
loosening up. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, one of these days we should just do like even
Podcast.
if it's a podcast kind of thing, it would be
Just
so
us
fun.
talking about anything. I think it's a really
bullshit.
bad idea.
No, it's wonderful.
You're
It would go
awful.
by.
Every time I'm ever talking to Brad about doing a podcast, he's like, not a chance.
No way. No way. It's
Do you
just
know
that
how
I
much
will
Brad
say something that I
struggles
wanna
with that friggin' just chatting stream that he's doing for a month?
say. It's killing me.
It's killing him. You can see it. Look at his
It's
eyes.
killing me. I can't-
There was
I
already
can't wait.
very little soul left
Oh,
there,
God.
and it's almost gone now.
You
It's
just
just
gotta.
hard for me to remain sort of, in character as a restrained version of myself, where I don't call babies it and stuff like that, or PB a serial killer. Unproved though. So D&D, where
Yeah.
PB gets to play a nice version of herself. Rin, the most hated character on Tablestory of all time, I think, maybe. We should hold that vote. We should get a list of all the characters.
really should.
And then
Yeah.
see. I mean, Rin would
I'm pretty
absolutely.
sure she's up there.
Yeah, she's up there.
I see you, Team Rinners, though, in the Discord. I
You
see
have a name, Team
love you.
Renner.
They
Yeah.
they do Team Rin. It's cute.
Team Rin.
Sweet.
Yeah, Team Rin's in there somewhere, aren't you? On your own.
Made it.
That one guy in the Team Rin t-shirt that you pay each week to go into the
What?
comments. He's
There's
there.
actually somebody with a T-shirt that says Team Rin on it. Are
No.
you ma-
No,
Oh
there's
my
not.
god.
Why would you hurt me? Why do you like to hurt me?
Well, I
don't
also said
understand.
the one guy that you paid for
I know,
the
but
t-shirt.
I responded before you finished the sentence. I'm sorry.
Right, D&D. Let's play some D&D. So, last week,
Really?
in what I believe was chapter 41, John Sandman was not here, but he was here in spirit, out there somewhere.
Over the rainbow.
His wife was giving birth, but he was like, no, hold it. 3 hours. I'm going to watch some D&D. And
Nailed it.
priorities. Sorry. Oh my god, I need to go and watch some D&D. That's the best LA I can do. So
You
that's the
keep
best
saying
John.
watch. Don't you mean play D&D?
Well, he wasn't here last week.
No, I was watching.
But he was watching.
I was like on and off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like nap time for Bryce, and like Liv was sleeping right then and there, and I was like, this is perfect.
Absolute perfect. What happened in general? The 3 characters who could be bothered to show up, they were split across varying different planes. Starting with Iridir, who found himself on the demi-plane of Dread. Fans will recognize that to be Ravenloft, and very specifically, he was in Barovia. which is a
Place I know well.
Yeah, you know way better than I do. I was actually terrified to GM you through the first page of Curse of Strahd. But we were there. I learned page 42 of Curse of Strahd just for Iridir, and really just for whack, because I can't believe that you rolled that plane. Iro found himself in Barovia, basically. It was just this awful place, kind of moonlit, with a terrifying castle looming over a very dilapidated, rundown village. He saw a zombie. You were naked. Just a reminder that you were naked and you don't have any of your stuff. You ended up fighting a couple of zombies with somebody known as Dealey Glitterhands, who was a halfling rogue, who was very strong. And
Was her name?
that was her name. It was a Missile Monkeys Patreon NPC.
Oh yeah, it was a Patreon.
Yeah, you
Heck
can
yeah.
tell. I would never have named it something so awful as Dealey Glitterhands. Come on, Missile Monkey, do better next time. Also, no more submissions, by the way, for Darkfire NPCs, because they won't be in it. That was the official.
Wait, why?
That was the official close. I think I have 2, maybe 3 more, which will be in it if you've already submitted one. If you want to submit one, you can't.
Oh my god, my heart. Are you that close?
That means we're getting close.
You are really in the end game. It's just I don't think there's going to be any opportunities either for me to provide.
Was there a YouTube video of last
Places
week's episode?
There is.
Okay.
There always is. It usually goes up around just.
I just didn't see it posted in the
Yeah,
Discord.
it goes up.
so-
It goes up the next day. It's usually like.
It was like 16 hours later after the show.
Yeah, it usually does. I
somewhere
just didn't see it in the Discord, so I was just being a little bitch. I'm not just gonna-
Yeah, it's usually the only times it's not there is when I'm completely burnt out and I forget, and then I never log in again and forget that I have to upload the YouTube video. But that very rarely happens. Trust me, I'm extremely responsible.
YouTube.
Iridir had a little fight with some zombies, and then the woman that he was with started to become terrified of him, asking him what he was, and he was confused. He didn't understand what was happening. Then we cut to 19, who was endlessly floating through space, basically, through the elemental plane of vacuum. He was being sort of harangued by these shadows that were telling him to give up, to allow them to have his life force, and he was saying no, basically. They kept fighting with him. He ended up fighting with them, kind of, but he was able to sort of banish them very easily. And then he exploded into fire, and then disappeared. Then we cut to Rin, who was in the Undying Pyre, which is the room of Kosuth, the sort of primordial demigod of fire himself, inside the Crimson Pillar, which is like his big floating castle that floats around on the plane of elemental fire. And he basically, they had a little chin wag, they just had a little chat, and he was very curious about her. He was curious about what was going on, said there was some weird shit going on inside, somewhere deep down in your heart. And he asked her to serve him and stuff. She said no, and then she literally jumped out the back door.
Which I'm sort of surprised about, personally, when I was watching it.
Really?
As just, yeah.
Well, I think the motivation was that Rin didn't want to have to serve anyone anymore.
Yeah.
One of the
thought it was,
themes
like,
I was glad the way that you built your characters, I was able to push into the game a little bit, was that all of you were in some way serving something else, right?
Yeah.
Or you were kind of, you were at the whim of something else. Iro, unanswered, because didn't really get to see that much about Iro's thing. Well, you're welcome, dragon. The 19 obviously was
Don't talk about me.
a sort of mindless golem type thing,
Mindless.
in servitude to the Rose Guard forces. Drift as a warlock and as a pact, and Rin was part of this cult, the Praetorata. So you all had this kind of thing with this servitude, this forced servitude thing. Even Olds, to a degree, had it, I think, with his family. So when he asked her to serve him, I think that was the main motivation for Rin to be like, nah,
Yeah.
bitch, and then jump out the back door,
Yes,
turn in,
badass.
flame on, and then land in the lava below, pretty much.
Especially like if you look at just the fact that it's a more powerful, I guess, entity than say Hasmol or even, you know, her cult is. So what the hell? That would be like the worst nightmare for her, is to then just commit to serving somebody else who's gonna like, yeah, no way. Which is a bummer, because PB, I was like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome.
Makes sense, yeah. If you had chosen to serve him, you would have had +5 levels.
Damn!
Sorry. No, but each of you did actually level up. I forced you to take a level in Sorcerer, specifically the Pyromancy subclass, which kind of doesn't exist. I don't actually know where I found it. I think it might be Unearthed Arcana or something. But it was just a forced thing from me. So each of you was forced to take a level in Pyromancy, basically, and it gave you a couple of extra little things going on in your characters. Fire in the Veins, you're now immune to fire damage. You can cast fire spells and if a creature is resistant to that fire damage, it will ignore that resistance and just still burn them for the maximum or whatever the damage is. You also have Heart of Fire, which means that you can create fire around you that will burn things within 10 feet of you that you choose to burn. And you had a few cantrips and some spells. The first thing I want to do is I want Drift to roll me a hit die.
Okay. A hit die action.
Little hit die action.
Coming right up.
Have I bought you enough time, or are you still making the thing?
Dude, I have so many. The thing is, like, I'm still like, I always bring up my history and then I pull up all my spells, so I'm just ready to go on like what everything reads. All right, here we go. Hit that.
4. Terrible. All right, don't add that to your thing. That was not terrible. A level up hit die. It was something else.
All right. Am I full health, by the way?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, you're full health. So, did you see the little video from last week? Shall I run it? I can run it again.
Do it.
I would love to see it again.
I want to see the video. Run it. Let's do it.
Run it again.
Sorry.
I
was a clap song
as well, so that you guys can enjoy it.
Like that.
All right, I'll run the little video that I made last week to just give you guys an idea. As it stands, your characters don't see or hear the first portion of this video, but the second part, your characters are privy to. When your characters were eaten by the dragon, you were sort of energies, and this is one of the things that you would have heard. So here is a little video for y'all going in blam. Any day now. Hello, video, run. Please. Are you running? Maybe it doesn't work. Damn it, it doesn't work. Hold on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Let me see if I can find it again. Some weird stuff has happened to my computer this week, and some stuff has been moved around, so I think that's what happened. Oh, that's why. Well, that was lucky. I almost showed something else that you almost rolled credits. All right, video. Sorry, tech issues. Here you go. Apologies. There you go.
Just a pitiful fire elemental. And we thought you were a genie, Hasmol. We prepared endlessly for this. I gathered every artifact I could find that would protect me from the most powerful elemental attacks. But you disgrace the Guardian name.
It's not over.
That's 3 of your kind I've defeated now, but you I've been instructed to destroy.
This is not the end. Interloper. I have failed my pursuit. It seemed such a simple one when my master bestowed it upon me. Protect the gate of fire. Protect
the gate of flame. Eons ago I was formless, but I was bound to it, and its power flowed through me. With the last of my energy, I send myself to you. As the power of the gate once flowed through me, warriors, it now falls to you and you alone. Mortals, travel deep into the gate and stop the interloper. Do not allow him to finish his ritual. If Amun Bania breaks through, it will be too late. When your new power awakens, summon yourselves to the gate and complete our pursuit.
And there you have it. That is the message that you guys received, and that is also going to bring us to the beginning of today's session.
It's so much better not on a cell phone.
Yeah. Drift.
I have to mute myself. Good luck.
We are starting with you.
Fun, Drift. See ya.
Don't leave me.
We are starting with you.
Come on.
No.
Stay with me. BB, you can stay with me.
The last thing you remember, young Drift, is being obliterated by a dragon. You were then a sort of form of energy floating through a sort of endless nothingness, and you did feel some other energies that you could draw yourself to. But before that happened, you experienced that message basically from Hasmol. He said that you'd failed your pursuit, and then as you begin to sort of reform elsewhere, you experienced that other one. You then you feel yourself falling, would be the best way to describe this sensation. As you start to come to, once again, you start to feel a more physical form of yourself. As your senses come back to you, you realize that you are falling upwards towards an open sky. There are clouds above you, and you can even make out, as your eyes start to focus, creatures that are moving about, flying around, gliding freely. In the distance, a cloud shifts and changes, and you see a woman's face appear, very, very large, and it slowly turns down and looks towards you as you fall upwards towards her. There's a sudden ignition of fire nearby. It begins to sort of swirl around you, and it grows and spirals about your body, and that voice of Hasmol is speaking to you, claiming that he's failed his pursuit. And he speaks to you. I think for you, he probably doesn't make it all the way through his speech here. Maybe halfway through, he's cut short, and suddenly the clouds above you begin to darken around you. There is a shift and change, and you can feel it. Something odd is happening, an energy about you. The face above you turns cruel and confused. It recoils as if it sees something grotesque. That spiral of fire that's around you suddenly turns to blood and disperses, and you leave it behind as you continue to shoot upwards. The sky darkens considerably, and then there are other flying creatures, hundreds of them, thousands of them, and they move as a swarm, and they turn suddenly and shift and head downwards towards you. It is a swarm of bats that engulfs you. And And I think they blanket the entire sky before they blanket you entirely. And a moment later, you find yourself on the ground, and you probably stumble forward. You were falling for 1 second, and then suddenly you're on the ground, stumbling forwards, maybe a little vertigo passing over you as your body catches up with your mind. And around you is this landscape of sort of smoke and shadow. The sky is utterly overcast. It's dark, but not necessarily nighttime. It's just that everything is overcast. I don't think you can really make out whether it's daytime, nighttime, anything like that. Some fires are here, and they provide a sort of odd light, but really they sort of just cast more shadows over a set of ruins that are all around you. A very odd place, broken ruins that seem to float and twist into crawl shapes. Sort of gothic ruined architecture that sort of pierces upwards like pikes and spikes, shards into this just endless darkness. You, as you look around, see yourself standing in this sort of open-topped, ruined Colosseum. Your feet, as you stumble forward, kick up a bit of dust, and it suggests that nothing has moved inside this place for a long time, perhaps even centuries. And ahead of you, a cloaked figure is standing, and he's kind of bent over, gripping a walking cane in his visible hand, and it's very pale and white and gnarled. The fingers taper to almost claws. Beneath the hood, you can see a chin, a pale white chin, a grin, 2 rows of sort of perfect teeth, and then his canines are unnaturally long. And he's a decent way ahead of you, but you can make out that even though he's bent over this cane, he looks pretty tall. And he speaks to you and says,
"Welcome, Sanguine One. I had not expected us to meet so soon. But before you swore yourself to that flaming puppet, you were sworn to me. You belong to me. You are mine and mine alone. And with that ghastly ornament of your wrist, we shall continue with your pact."
You're completely naked. You haven't got any of your stuff. You do not have your bracer on your wrist anymore.
I don't have the doll. I don't have the
You
doll.
got nothing. You just got your birthday suit, and that's it.
Are you the one who saved me?
Yes. And perhaps you were the one who saved me. Certainly, you will be the one to save me, Sanguine One.
Am I dead?
In a way, yes. Life will no longer flow through your body, but your body remains alive.
Where are my friends?
I do not know. Perhaps they are dead too, perhaps not. I have no control over your material plane or wherever they were sent. I have control over one thing and one thing alone, and that is you.
So what now? What do I do?
Now we continue our work. Do you know, Sanguine One, long ago, I was not too dissimilar from yourself. I left the snows behind and stepped out into something far worse. A landscape of darkness and poison, and it looked rather similar to this place.
He kind of casts a hand behind him, and you can see his wrist now as it pokes out from underneath his robe. And his skin is pale, like white, sheet paper kind of white, as he moves this weird twisted arm across the landscape behind him, and he says,
"This is the Shadowfell, my prison. A small cousin, perhaps, To the place on the material plane. To the east of your fair land, Sanguine One. Do you know of Darkvale?
I'm almost sure. Should I roll for that, Brad? I'm pretty sure I don't know much.
You can give
about
me a history check if you want, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I know I've heard of it, but
You know that it's a continent and people tell stories of it. It's like the horror story place, you know? If you were going to write a horror story, you would probably set it in Darkvale. It's just awful. It's supposedly always nighttime and there's the worst monsters come from there. And it's a couple of continents away, but it's pretty far away. It's the equivalent of sort of England to Russia.
Okay.
It's pretty far away.
I've heard of it before, but I don't know much about it.
A horrific place. No family could survive, and they did not. Not mine, at least. No one survived, no one but me. Do you know how? I gave in to it. I gave in to the poison, and I used it, and I channeled it. And then one day I heard a voice. The voice of a child far away, and it called to me. And I sensed something within that child. A power. A shadow of my own power. But it was stronger, Sanguine One. And I traveled out from that wretched place I had known as home. And I found a flourishing village, known as Rosegard. I understand you have been there, have you not?
Yeah, I won a tournament there.
Yes, you did. With my help.
What do you mean? I did a lot. I had Eero's help.
Yes, but your power, your strength, your life was given to you by me. Was it not?
Yeah, of course. Of course it was, but I thought you said we were even.
Even? Not yet, child. Soon. Soon indeed. When I traveled to Rosegard, it was much smaller. Little more than a village. I could not find that child who reached out to me. But the king, he found me. He captured me, tortured me. But they could not kill me, not outright. They did not know how. Instead, they found a way to banish me, Sanguine One, here. But I am not without my abilities. Even here, lost in this place, I called out endlessly to the child. And one by one, the children answered. One by one, they begged for my power, but none of them were the child I sought, not until you. And here we are.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like power. I do. I just don't like how I have to get that power.
Begging.
I don't want to hurt people.
Huh. You will not need to hurt many more people, but do you not wish for vengeance? The company that slaughtered your family?
I'll hurt those people.
Yes. Yes, you will. And then our pact will be complete. I will lend you my power once more.
But I don't know where they are. I don't know how to find them. I don't know how to find...
I know where to find them, child. Their leader is at this very moment attempting to tear apart the fabric of your reality and pull your world asunder.
I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know. I don't know if I could beat him.
You are not strong enough, child. but I am.
So what, you're gonna fight with me?
You shall be my vessel. You shall be my way back. And as luck would have it, we're going to the very same place.
I just want to see Rin and Nero and Oldest again.
And you shall. We shall travel together. And you will once more use my power to destroy your enemy, and then our pact will be complete.
And what happens then?
Our pact will be complete, child.
Did I just go our separate ways?
Your vengeance will be wrought, and I will be back on the plane that I once called home. And my vengeance shall begin.
Are you gonna kill more people?
That depends on who stands in my way.
You gonna kill me?
Child, you are already dead.
And if I say no?
Oh, child. Perish the thought. I am the first. And now you are too.
At that, the figure rushes towards you, and I'm talking fast. It's like a blur as this thing just... His cloak flaps out behind him, and you see these teeth, this smile, this horrible gnarled figure. He doesn't look human, but he was something near. What do you do?
I think I would just instantly like start pulling out my sword and like hand up, kind of just out of a reaction. Quick reaction, like that would be it. Hand up and sword starting to pull out of its...
There is no sword. Your sword is a shadow sword that you can summon.
Yeah, shadow sword, just like it'll start forming in my hand.
It doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. With that, you try to bring this sword, summon the shadow sword up. You bring a hand up to defend yourself, and the cloaked figure strikes your body, slams into you, and you feel a cold energy knock you from your feet. And that is when you are transported back to your home plane in Thelmecia, along with the others. Everybody else, you may return. As we continue. So, the rest of you.
My heart is crushed right now. I hate you, Brad.
I'm sorry. So, you guys all individually have done your own things. Each of you are naked. You remain that way. None of you have any of your stuff. Except for 19. 19 sort of died in his own mind. His physical self was pulled from the semi-dreamlike state you were in the Nightstorm dungeon, so he actually found a loophole and still has his stuff.
So wait, we emerge and 19 is there?
I'll tell. Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just setting you up.
Am I a new character on here?
Yeah.
I'm now Drift the First.
You should now be Drift the First. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Oh my god.
Make sure to check some of the things. So, while the others became level 7, you remain level 6, but I have given you some crazy buffs. You've got to change to your strength, dex, con, and wisdom, and maybe int have changed. You have some new abilities, and you might want to take a look at them. Everything else remains the same. Everyone is level 7, you're still level 6 technically.
Okay.
But you're buffed to shit, so bear that in mind. From now on,
Where
you
are
have to
the
use
abilities?
the Drift the First sheet. You can do whatever. Go to core, and then scroll down on the right, and scroll down underneath where all of your...
Nice.
Underneath Accursed Spectre.
Oh my god.
I added the extra 4 HP you got. So,
Oh, cool. That's why you had me roll.
each of you now have completed each of your individual travels through these varying planes, and you Eero, you exploded into a ball of fiery light before the eyes of this frightened rogue, by the way. 19, you imploded in a fireball lost on the elemental plane of vacuum. Darkheart, you leap from the crimson pillar and your body bursts into flame and you fall and hit the burning lava below. And Drift, you're rushed by the powerful vampiric creature known as the First. And I'd just like to state for the record, everybody, at this point, no one's ever asked it this whole time, but none of you know what a vampire is. For the record, they don't exist. They don't exist until now. You each experience basically the same feeling. Your body's sort of being thrust from one plane to another. It's like a rush, probably like being pulled from an airlock in space, that kind of experience that we've all been through. Your surroundings, you can imagine it when you see it in a movie.
One does.
You can imagine it. Your surroundings suddenly become relatively clear, but it's a little more like what Drift was experiencing, like you're flying through air and you're heading towards the ground. There are clouds that are passing by you, and probably for a moment you don't feel much like the physical form of yourself. You feel probably a little more like that energy, but you feel hot. There's an intense heat, not necessarily uncomfortable. Your bird's eye view as you rush towards the continent of Thelmecia allows you to sort of feel outwards with some new extended abilities, and you're able to sense various pockets of heightened energy. And you immediately feel and notice a great many skirmishes out across this land, and you can just sense it. And like flashes and visions, you can see things very quickly as you're rushing towards the material plane. You see things. You see Rose Guardian forces on those giant white walls, and they're fighting at night the group that you saw in the first couple of episodes, the Company of Masks, and they're assaulting the walls. There are lots of them, and it's like a full skirmish happening outside the walls of Roseguard. The Roseguard forces are sort of repelling them with pikes and lances. These bandits, this sort of bandit army that's risen up is fighting with them. The skies are filled with the Warforged group, the Crimson Wing, atop of the back of these giant trained wyverns. There's an explosion on one side of the wall, like a purple flame that bursts open a portion of the wall near the area where you guys tried to jump over that lake, the river. And it sort of decimates this western wall, and the Company of Masks rush in, and swords and shields clash with the Rose Guardian forces. And then you have this other vision, and the next vision you have is of this villain that you know to be Deathsinger himself. And he's standing in this room, and it's a red lit room, almost exact. It's not a room that you recognize from when you were in there, but almost exactly the same as the Gate of Fire. This red light, the sort of glow given off by the flava, and he's standing in this room that looks similar to that, but also looks a little odd, almost like a mirage. The walls kind of shift and change a little bit. They don't look quite as solid and as stable as when you guys were in there before. And he's standing with other people. They're all standing around. There's maybe 6 of them, and they each have these thick robes on that cover their heads. Deathsinger stands with his hood down. The set of masks that he has on him at all times is concealed somewhat, but you can see them through the open robe around his waist. And there's a droning chant that fills your ears as you continue to move towards the ground. The red lights from the flava about him and the others suddenly turn purple. There's an explosion upwards of this flava as it turns into a purple flame. The Praetorita don't flinch, and they continue their chant. And as your energy is moving towards this room, it's repelled at the turning of this fire, and you can feel yourselves moved away from it in a way as you become more and more physical. Along the mountainside, outside of where the Gate of Fire is, you see Captain Stonesworn, Stride, Terran, and McKinnon as well as several others from that platoon of the Rose Guard forces that you met at the beginning of the adventure in Drift. And they seem to be battling their way up the side of the mountainside. And you guys can recognize this for sure as the same mountainside that you guys climbed down that morning of the Gate of Fire. There are these huge figures that they're fighting with, and they're big, huge humanoids, green tusks protruding from their mouths with crude weapons and armor, and they're orcs. Waves and waves of them appear to be crawling across this mountainside, and various squads of Rose Guard forces are fighting with them along this mountainside as well. You can see Stonesworn as your bodies begin to materialize again, and you can focus your energy to the side of this mountain. He brings his great sword down to clash with a particularly large, brutish orc's great axe. You see McKinnon take aim with her longbow at an oncoming orc, when suddenly the peak of the mountain above them suddenly erupts like a volcano. An explosion of rock and flame, and the flame is purple.
That's so cool.
The entire mountainside is engulfed in this kind of purple flame, this volcanic eruption. And this lava starts to move down the sides with this purple flame lighting up the night sky. It gives a glow across the entire area, and you see Stonesworn, McKinnon, even the orcs, they all react suddenly to it as if something is happening, but the battle continues. This is as close as you guys can get to the Gate of Fire as you summon yourselves there. And you may each pick a starting position and number on this battle map. It's the best I could do for Flava. Alright? It's the best I could do. Let it load. Alright, so you'll see on the map here, there are positions. 1 on the left, 2 on the right, 3 and 4. There are orcs everywhere, big bad orcs. There are dead.
Sorry to interrupt. Do we have full HP and spells again?
You've got full everything, but you are naked. You still don't have any of your stuff.
Now, did I get those pants from the half?
I think you did, yeah. You have some very, very small pants that probably just look like short shorts on you.
Okay.
Wait, we're naked still?
You guys, yeah. Your AC will be your 10 plus your dex, unless you have any special bullshit that you can do. So you will be able to materialize yourself in one of these positions. You can pick where you want to start, and you can choose between you now if you want. The number will be represented on where you appear in the turn order for the combat. So bear that in mind. And it doesn't mean like it from 1 means you'll be going first, and 4 means you'll be going last. And then everything else I rolled off stream, and I've got to work it out. So you guys figure out where you want to start on this mountainside. Also, the volcano is like wildly erupting and shooting rocks and fire and everything everywhere as you appear.
M-Stride and Terran and all them are on our side, correct?
They were last time, yeah.
They were, yeah.
You guys are going to show up like, what's his name? The Human Torch. You.
So just to be clear, when we're summoning ourselves here, are we cognizant of what's going on?
Yeah. I think you generally have a good idea of what's happening. You have this extra sense almost that you can feel outwards, and you can feel these pockets of intense heightened energy. It doesn't necessarily mean like arcane energy. It's literally just like emotions. You know, there's fear coming from the people of Rose Guard. There's fear coming from some of these guys. There's a battle. There's all this heightened rage and stuff coming from the orcs.
And do we feel each other? Like, do we know innately what these other energies are that are joining us, or is it like a surprise when we land?
I think it's going to be a surprise. I don't think you can sense the other energies because they feel like you.
Okay.
You might be able to feel one, actually. One of them feels weird and corrupt and awful, actually. There's a second energy landing with you.
Okay.
Is that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have the pyromancy stuff that they got from Hazmat.
Nah, I don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You are, however, immune to fire. You'll be pleased to know.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes from something else that maybe we'll work out or maybe we won't. So between you work out who wants to go first, where you want to land. Oh, you've done it. This is what you want to do. You've already you've all picked.
Except for
For
one.
PB, she got forced into the number one spot.
Number one.
I think that's the best spot for her, if we're being honest, too.
Yeah.
PB in the
That mean
number
to say,
one
PB,
spot.
do you want 3?
All right.
Do you want 3, PB?
I'm
Yeah.
traumatized.
Give me a sec to just set up
You
this
say
turn
you're
order
drunk?
because it's an
I
insane.
said I'm traumatized.
It's an insane turn order to set up. I really wanted to set this up before the thing, but I was like, it's just gonna be such a ruiner.
Can I give you a helpful tip, Brad?
Yeah, go on.
If you click on the object layer and hit Control A, and then just add turn, that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
not adding. But I'm not adding everyone individually.
Okay.
Can we do ours? Can we click on our characters and roll initiative?
No, we're the number of the order.
Oh, cool.
Of us landing.
Your
is the
initiative is
order.
sort of preset. So all I need to do is just add each of the individual things, and then add you guys. I just want to check that I add everyone properly. So the thing. Oh yeah, Terran. So they went. All right, let me just check my notes.
Oh my god. This is nuts.
All right, so who was? So he was on a 20. Terran was on a 20. The War Chief was on 15.
You're full.
15.
PB, you have to.
Sorry?
There's like those fire circles with numbers.
Yeah, I noticed that. How do I do that?
You just have to
Drag
move
your
yourself
character
into
off to the
the.
right.
Drag yourself over to the other one that says 1 on it.
Oh, okay. Oh god. Thanks, fam.
And then it was there.
There's
okay,
the least
so-
amount of guys there. That's the easy one to be at.
You got it, girl.
so
You're
it
Rin.
was
Fucking
Rin
Rin.
first.
I probably, yeah, I mean, I think that. Jesus Christ.
Alright.
No, it's okay. It was a good thing. I loved it. I
Who was number
wanted
2? Hero? Where is he? Over there.
Okay, PB, you gotta detach yourself from what just happened. I'm so sad
Why are you sad?
because I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna end well for Drift, and I love him.
19,
Oh, you say that now.
and then Drift goes there. Okay. So, the order in general is Rin, Captain Stonesworn, and the Knights. Terran, who is he's a fighter. He's not really a knight. Then Iro. Then there's an Orc War Chief in there, who's the biggest dude here, who Stonesworn is fighting one-on-one at the moment. Then all the Orcs do their stuff.
Where's
Then
Stonesworn?
19. Then the Orc Eye of Grumsh, who's also a big-looking dude with some weird shit going on. There's a single priest here, and it's the younger of the priests that you saw in Drit. You remember there was an old priest who was tending to the wounded, and there was a younger one with him as well. This is Fusehair was his name. I just can't remember if you actually knew his name. Then it's Drift, and then it's McKinnon and some of the archers that are there. You don't see everybody. There are a couple of people missing. You also see a couple of dead people. There's a few knights that you might recognize faces from when you saw them all as a full platoon around. You can hear the sounds of a battle coming from other areas of the mountain as well. It's not just here. You've landed at the area where Stonesworn and his group here are fighting. You can hear a battle going on up the mountain as well, and maybe some pockets of fighting happening all around you as this begins. So, the first
I
of
have a
you to appear.
question.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
What do they see? Do they just see four naked people? Oh, okay, sorry.
They see one naked person appear, and it's like Terminator style, but fire. I feel like you literally just like you comet crash land superhero Iron Man style, but like looking like the Human Torch. as you just
God, I'm so
there's
big.
just an area. I mean, there's
I
like
put a dent in my
fiery,
area.
yeah, there's like fiery things launching across the area anyway, but it's like this purple fire. The lava is now running freely down the side of the mountain. The area is extremely hot, and then there's this kind of like wild, classic orangey fire as Rin, and only Rin for now. You land, and there's like a definite sound as you kind of hit the ground, materialize, and you are just a flaming naked woman. There are two orcs in front of you, and they might not be aware that you're there necessarily. They are holding in their hands javelins. They're like throwing javelins across this lava. An archer who's perched herself on top of one of these peaks. She sees everything that happens 100%. She watches this thing come down, and then suddenly there is a Rin standing up, flame on, and yeah, she's looking at you. But in terms of turn order, it is your turn. There are two orcs in front of you. There is a huge running lava, and an archer kind of like lowering her thing before she shakes her head and holds it back up again.
I would like to sneak attack one of these orcs with a firebolt, please. Actually, can I hit both of them?
I think how does firebolt work? Does it just do double damage or double shots?
So I think you need levels in sorcerer before it does a split.
Okay.
Or no, it just does one hit for more damage. It's not like Eldritch Blast.
Right. So then no, you can't hit both of them.
Okay. Then I will hit this one if I can. I don't want to let me ping it. There we
You
go.
can say top or bottom.
The one on the top.
One on the top. Okay. Yeah. Give me that attack roll.
Ooh, okay.
I have a lot to juggle, so it might not be smooth sailing.
That's okay. Hopefully this works. Does that work?
It does, but you need to make a ranged spell attack. So it'll be a d20 plus your...
It's on your core page.
Core page? Okay. Where on the core page?
Right in the middle.
Am I looking for what in particular?
There should be. Let me check. I'll double check.
Should say firebolt.
Where you have
No,
your
it doesn't.
normal attacks, where your swords are or whatever.
Yeah, there's no firebolt there.
Let me check why.
This is so sick, dude. This is literally...
It didn't show up in the compendium, so I had to manually add it. So I probably fucked something up. I apologize.
All right,
Firebolt is in there. There's a space.
I swear I searched
Let's
with
try
the
again.
space.
Hang on, might as well just start
Oh, there it
again.
goes. Okay.
There you
That's
go.
what happened to me when I was first doing it. I never.
Okay. Okay. Here,
Try
sorry.
again.
Brad. Do I have advantage because he doesn't see me?
I'm gonna say no because there is stuff flying around everywhere
I thought I'd
already.
try.
So he's
Worth a shot.
wary of above him, I guess, and he's expecting this. So 22 is still a hit. 8 fire damage on the orc at the top. Yeah, he's like aiming a javelin at the archer who watches this happen and then kind of steals herself. As he's about to throw it, you see the back of him just explode into fire, and you deal 8 fire damage to him. He kind of stumbles forward. Let's let me just work out this, and then what the save? There we go. I'm gonna make him do a save instead, a strength save. Yeah, he makes it. He stumbles forward and like kind of steals himself before he falls into this like rolling lava that's moving down the side of the mountain. Again, there is a huge volcano exploding above you. It's Pompeii style. You're in it. Is that into your turn, Rin?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna move as well. And what do we got? Why does it say my speed is that? It shouldn't be. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna back up here. Hold on. Sorry. Swift. There, all the way up there. I'm gonna dart back. It's just a naked woman running.
Yep. You just
Health,
come
rather.
in, launch a
Like-
thing, you're
and
all
then-
the way up there behind the turn
yeah,
order for
bail.
people who are watching on
Sure.
the stream. All right. Yeah, you don't see any of your comrades around you, but you do see Captain Stonesworn over here. He is fighting with this this war chief.
Oh, so it is character level for the cantrips, apparently.
It is?
Yeah.
Does that
So
mean I do more damage?
No, you did a 2d10.
Oh.
You got lucky.
Did she?
Did she?
Yeah. 2d10, 2 and a 6.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, if you say so. Let's see here. So, you see Stonesworn. I think this one I'll pop out because knights are annoying. They have all sorts of shit. Fighting with this orc. I don't think he has any awareness whatsoever that you guys are here. But he's fighting the leader of this band of orcs. What it looks like is a very large orc. Stonesworn's a relatively average sort of dude, but he's not small really. He's pretty chunky. He's pretty strong. He wields a big greatsword, and he brings this greatsword back to swing again at this war chief who's standing in front of him with a ginormous great axe, and he is going to, let me see here. Yeah, I think he's just going to attack. So he gets 2 attacks on this guy, an 11 and a 21. One of those will hit, I believe. Yes. So his greatsword, like these two are just clashing. Dung, dung, this greatsword hitting the great axe. You see the big orc takes a nasty slash to the tune of 12 slashing damage. But he shrugs it off. A lot of people here are injured already. Captain Stonesworn and the others, many of them are a little injured already. You can see that they have some wounds on them, the tattered mess. It's very likely that they've been out here this entire time since you last saw them, tracking these orcs. Terran, the fighter who joined you in that fight with the Infeared, who was just a small fighting dude. He wasn't a knight. He also will fight with an orc. And I do not have his information, apparently.
By the way, Ira, I love where you spawned.
Oh yeah,
It was a trap. Brad.
Yeah, dude.
Specifically because he knew I was going to go there.
Good thing you got pants on.
Oh, the fact that you
wishes he
spawned
didn't.
there? Yeah, well.
He wishes he didn't. That's
It
why
doesn't really matter.
You guys just kind of put yourself in places. There are some tactical advantages to being in certain areas, and I was just like, I'll see if they want to work that out or not. I don't know. Like, this one is one of the worst ones where 19 is, because there are 3, you're behind enemy lines.
I think me being where I was supposed to be at is the best spot. I think.
Alright.
Because I'm the only person that has things and armor and shit.
That's true. You do actually have stuff.
That's nice.
Let me see why I don't have this figure. It doesn't work. Oh, there.
There's
it
also
is.
something else that's really cool that I don't think is. Well, never mind. It has been realized just by me that I'm wrong. Fuck, I'm wrong. God damn it, I'm wrong.
Terran's attack
It's like
is a
every
hit.
morning.
He stabs forward with 2 hands with a
Right.
spear and deals 3 damage to the orc in front of him.
That's back there. Diamond swords. No,
Then we probably see McKinnon and another elven archer stood beside her. These two archers in their kind of scout uniforms, the Rose Guard scout uniforms. McKinnon is the young, relatively. Let's just say she's the young, attractive young lady of the Rose Guard army, and was a scout in this platoon who Iridir hit on pretty heavily. But then they split paths when she went to Green Hill and you guys went off to Rose Guard towards the beginning of the campaign.
Thank you, Hero.
Hero, same thing. This fireball lands in front of McKinnon and the other archer, and they kind of jump backwards, watching what's happening. And this flaming, naked, almost human appears right there in tiny halfling short shorts that probably, reveal all too much. What do you do? Your turn.
I think that when I land, I immediately say, "Oh, that was sudden. Okay, all right. McKinnon?
Hero?
Long time no see.
Is it really you?" She brings the longbow in front of her and knocks an arrow and points it towards you.
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, persuasion check.
She's in chaos, dude.
I'm also all right. I'll do that first, I think. Yes. 18.
Oh, yeah. 18, more than enough. There's a smile that spreads across her face as she sees you, and she looks down and says, "What are you doing here?"
I don't really know, but you have other things to worry about right now, and I'll see if I can help.
Yes. Very well. There are orcs everywhere, and be careful. And probably like a flaming rock launches across your head.
Don't worry about me. Make sure you stay alive. We have unfinished business.
She pulls an arrow out and nods at you and aims it at one of the nearby orcs.
And I will use my mantle of majesty.
She manages not to look at your
my rippling muscles.
Yeah, let's just call it your rippling muscle.
So I cast the Mantle of Majesty, and I gain the ability to cloak myself in fey magic that makes others want to serve me. As a bonus action, I can cast Command without expending a spell slot. And I think you see all these sparkles and things all about me as I take on this extremely beautiful appearance, and I will look towards these creatures. Do I see 19?
No.
All right.
You can give me a perception check if you want to see Rin. It can be a free action.
Okay.
19 and Drift are not there.
What was it? Perception? Can I also do this?
Yeah, you see Rin, and she's kind of she's running away somewhat, and then she turns around, and you see each other, I think, across this way, from really far away. She's naked as well. It's pretty far, though. You guys are pretty...
I look and just a giant smile beams across my face.
Same. Very, very relieved to see you here.
I mouth the words, "Stay alive."
I mouth back, "You too."
And I will use Command on. I see this is some sort of priest here that I think is an enemy. I don't know.
The priest is the priest you probably recognize as one of the guys. The Rose Guardians. The only enemies you have are orcs. There's an orc eye of Grumsh. If you look at the turn order, all the orcs. Everything else is a human or on the Rose Guardian side.
All right, I will cast
that priest
Command.
is one that you recognize as a young priest that was helping out previously. Who's there?
I will cast Command on this orc here, and
Okay.
I will command him. Sorry, let me just check the actual commands. That's one word. I command it to grovel.
Oh.
Wisdom saving throw, and if it fails, the target falls prone and then ends its turn.
All right, let's see. Wisdom saving throw coming in from the orc. Does he have to beat? Oh, an 18 is probably going to do it.
Oh yes, that is a success. And then I will use. If I notice he doesn't do anything, I. Oh, that didn't work.
Me eat you now.
And I will then use.
The orc is now stomping towards you. He's going to eat you.
Yeah, I'm rushing backward. Just that way. That didn't work. Oh no. I think I have about 5 more feet, so we'll go here. And that's
Okay.
it for my turn.
All right. The war chief. Let's see. Who is within 30 feet? Fuck me, all of these guys. Oh, damn. The orc war chief issues a battle cry. Each creature of the chief's choice that is within 30 feet, so all those orcs that are within 30 feet of him, gain advantage on attack rolls until the start of the war chief's next turn.
Wow.
So yeah, this war chief that kind of like, you see him parry one hit from Stonesworn, and then he takes another hit. He looks down and looks up looks down, continues to look downwards towards Stonesworn, and then he raises his axe in the air and in Orcish says, and all of these orcs around him look fucking happy. He then apparently can make a bonus attack with his great axe, so he's going to try and hit Stonesworn on a 12. That is definitely a miss. So he brings it back down, but Stonesworn again brings his great sword up, and they ting once again clash their great weapons. The orcs is his turns. Let's see the one that wants to chase Eero. Can he catch up to you? No. But he is going to use his entire thing to run after you, Eero, because he wants to eat you now, because you wanted him to grovel. The Orc Eye of Grumsh. I've not really used that many orcs in D&D, by the way, so this is fun for me because it seems like a staple thing. This guy's bullshit. He's got all sorts of bullshit that he can do. And that's why I'm going to put him here. Let's see. Oh wait, he can move as a bonus action. The orc can move up to its speed toward a hostile creature that it can see, which is you. So actually, that previous orc can move as a bonus action, which means he does get an attack on you, Eero. That's their whole thing. So this orc just sees you after you tell him to grovel, and then you run away from him, and he runs after you. And he brings his great axe down towards you on an 18.
That is a hit.
4 slashing. Maybe you kind of dodge it somewhat, but it still tears like a wound across the back of your shoulders as he looks and licks his lips. You see McKinnon like aiming an arrow, and the other archer as well, but it's too late. The Orc Eye of Grumsh is more focused on his leader. He's going to move over to here, and he is going to do some bullshit. He is going to cast Command as well. Looking at Eero and then looking back towards Captain Stonesworn, he says,
Grovel.
towards Stonesworn, who will make his own save. With save 14, and that is luckily enough. You hear Stonesworn. He this magic kind of affects him, and he stumbles for a second, and he looks over towards this other orc and says, "I'll never grovel, you disgusting beasts. We've been waiting for months for this." And he swings his sword again, and he's all fucked up. They're all looking like kind of hurt. The archers aren't. McKinnon and that look like they've been hiding in the bushes, but the knights look like they've been in this fight for a little while. I guess that's all he can do for this turn. Yes. And this other orc will rush towards Captain Stonesworn as well, and he's going to make a couple attacks, or one attack. With advantage, that's an 18, which is exactly the amount he needs to hit. This guy comes in, and Stonesworn kind of parries the hit from the War Chief, but leaves himself open to take 9 damage from this guy. It's a nasty hit. He's looking pretty beat up. The orc fighting Terran is going to fight hit Terran, and that is a 14, which is not enough. Terran jumps out of the way of this great axe coming in. There is another fighting. Do you remember Stride, the big kind of bald looking guy who loved drift? That knight, he is there fighting with an orc of his own. I think he missed his turn as well, so I'm just going to roll a quick attack back and forth. 1, and an orc attack back on your boy. Bam. It's a whole new way to do D&D. Just do each fight as I see them. Another knight over there.
That's cool.
There's too many. Another knight will swing at the orc in front of him, and the orc will swing back. 16 is a hit. He does 10 slashing damage to that orc. This guy's coming in with a 13 is a miss. So this orc is fucking hurt. Dude, he shoves this sword through the orc's stomach. Just... And the orc kind of stumbles forward. Growls at him. Another orc eye of Grunch in there. He is going to cast a spiritual weapon. What a piece of shit. Am I right, boys? He makes a spear suddenly appear behind Stride in the air. This sort of horrible, bloodied, nasty spear suddenly appears behind the knight Stride, who's probably the most fucked up looking guy here. And he will attack with it.
Wow.
21. The orc
Holy
has a
crap.
floating spectral weapon within 60 feet, lasts for 1 minute. And the orc caster spell can make a melee spell attack, and as a bonus action, it can move up to 20 feet and repeat the action. So he hits Stride with this spiritual weapon for 8, and oh no, another 3 force in there as well. 18. He's down to 18 health. I don't know why you can see the orcs bars but not the people's bars, but whatever. They're looking messed up, alright? You guys need to move quickly. Then we have... I think that's it for those guys. 2 that are now... Let's see what these guys see. Do they see Rin? The orcs who are over here. Rin is up here, hiding away. Do these 2 orcs see you? Do they know what the hell is going on? Is this orc intelligent enough to work out that he's been hit in the back or not? Neither of them see you, Rin. They're not aware. They just think that the volcano is erupting around them. But it does mean that they throw javelins at the archer across the river here, one of Stonesworn's men. So each of them launches and... Is it going? Is it? Hello? Oh, they're down.
Wow.
A 21 and a 14. I think one of them hits. Yeah. One hits this archer across the way here for 7 piercing damage. So force is steadily being whittled down as another fiery explosion hits the ground behind enemy lines up here. There are a bunch of orcs kind of all focused in the other direction, 19, as this ginormous, massive, metallic, extremely heavy materialized form engulfed in flame hits the ground, cracking the earth underneath and standing up as the flames kind of dissipate around you. What would you like to do on your turn, 19? You have appeared.
Let's go!
Oh, also, Eero, roll me a perception.
Welcome back, buddy.
Because this is a big deal. The Stone Sworn, nothing has changed. Yeah,
They both
the
see
both of you see another thing hit the ground. And this flame. Perhaps you're waiting for Olds to appear. Maybe Drift, when suddenly this enormous form is your Warforged, the broken black kind of dwarven style armor that he has on him that he had fitted. He appears with all of his stuff. He has a pack, he has his great sword, and the flames dissipate off of him, and this is for sure your 19.
2 questions.
Yep.
Do I see what was happening with the orc chasing Eero and the orcs going towards Stone Sword as I was coming down? Do I know that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Second question. Who all was hurt? I heard you say stone, like you said we can't see it. You said Stone
I don't know
Sword.
why you can't see them, but
I can see some of them. I can see Terrans. I can see archers. I can see the priests. I just can't see Stone Sworns.
Yeah, I might be able to quickly turn
Or
around.
M-strides.
Bam. So you should be able to see them now if I put it into the front. M-stride.
Okay.
Yeah. And then.
And second thing, where do I see my spell modifier at? Why am I blind and don't know
Depending on
exactly?
whether you're using are you using priestly spells or sorcery spells?
Priestly spells.
Then go over to your spells page on your main thing,
Okay.
and your spell modifier is your spell modifier is just wisdom. Sorry, I'm being dumb.
It's just wisdom.
It'll be your wisdom score. Yeah, your spell attack is wisdom plus proficiency, but.
Okay. So what I would say happens is when he hits the ground and he's already has his shield and his sword, his ruby sword out. And he's kind of like holding on to him. And like, he almost like is already standing there as like, kind of like the smoke dissipates and he's already like glowing like a gold and white color. And he just slowly starts walking a little bit forward. I need to check a couple distances real quick. Ooh, I can hit from a long. Ooh, daddy! Oh, daddy! Sorry, I'm realizing how far I can go. So, nope. Yep.
Brad, check your DMs.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna move myself to
Zoom
chat. And I don't even run. I just start walking. And as I walk, like the farther I walk, like the brighter I start glowing like a gold and like a white. And next thing you know, you see me just kind of like release the shield and the sword like out like full wingspan. And I clap the sword and the shield together. And as I do it, I cast Mass Healing Word on Captain Stonesworn, M-Stride, Terran, and anybody else that's within 60 feet that might need healing. Now I have a question. It says I can do it up to 6 people. Let's see, let me read it real quick. It says I can do it 6 creatures you choose. If I don't have 6 creatures, like, what was that?
Within 60 feet, yeah.
Yes. If I have 6 creatures and don't have 6 creatures, say I only have 3 people I'm trying to heal, that being M-Stride, Captain Stonesworn, and Terran, can I use all 6 of those, 2 of them each on each of those people? Is that a thing that's allowed? I've never had to use it before.
So, as you call out words of restoration, up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spell modifier. So, I would say that means you can only do it on 1 of each of the 6.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
the orc attacked Eero, right?
Yeah.
The orc is it's about to try and fucking hit him again. Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm gonna use another one on Iridir. So there's the 4th one. And is there anybody else in that section that looks like? Does that priest look like? That priest looks like it needs a little healing there.
Priest
All right,
has
so
got
there's
a wound across his head.
there's the 5th one, and then the archer behind McKinnon also needs a little healing. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna go with those 6.
All right, roll me the healing word, and I'll go around and get them all.
Let's go ahead and we're gonna go for 8 in total to each of them, and as like that smack goes, the gold and like the white starts to dim from me quite a bit. And as it dims from me, I look up and because Eero saw me, right?
Everyone sees you, yeah, and you see them.
Okay. Eero saw me. I just nod and I yell at the.
I'm like ducking out of the way of this orc, like, 19? 19!
I scream at the orc. Why don't you fight someone your own size? And I'm trying to.
Sorry, did you heal M Stride?
I did. I healed everybody that pretty much that was in that area that had any kind of like they were the only people that weren't orcs that had damage. I healed all of them because I looked for every single one of them, so they all would have gotten 8. That'd have been Stonesorn, the archer behind McKinnon, M Stride, the priest,
Swan, the
Terran.
other knight, and Terran. Okay.
So M Stride's the only one you haven't healed, I don't think, unless you did really good.
Yeah, no, I did. He was really hurt.
Okay.
And Eero. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you sort of shout at this, or give me an intimidation roll.
Okay. $14.
The orc like turns around and sees you. And he looks back between Eero screaming at you and then back to you and says,
Nah, me no eat metal man.
turns kind of back to Eero.
Don't worry, cause Metal Man about to eat you.
Give me a persuasion check.
Me?
Yeah.
Hit that, baby. Hit it high, please.
10. Oh. Actually, I'm an actor. I have advantage, I believe.
Okay.
Advantage on charisma, deception, and charisma performance. Never mind.
All right. 6. Yeah. He like looks back.
Oh no. No, you know, eat me.
And he settles.
yes, you
Slam the
do.
shield and the sword together.
He kind of turns around. He's got his back to you, Eero, as he looks at 19. Oh, the Orc Eyes of Grimsh I've already done, so we'll put them there. Is that the end of your turn?
At the moment, that would be the end of my turn.
All right, this priest, is a young priest. When I say young priest, he's just not old, because the other guy was like 90, if you remember, who was in charge of the healing, and there was a slightly younger one. He's probably actually in his 30s. Fuse hair. He shouts over to you, Eero, and says, Are you hurt?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay, so in that case, he says, all right, well then take this. And he's going to launch a guiding bolt, because apparently priests have guiding bolt. A 19.
Nice.
He launches it at the one which is fighting with Terran. This guy over here. 19 is a hit. Yeah, it's like a fucking radiant lightning bolt. And it hits this orc who just... and yeah, this orc's hair all stands up on end, and his blood starts to run down the back of his head as he's kind of all messed up. Then, something a little different happens. This time, as our final combatant appears. There is no fire. As your boy appears. A whole new name from this one. A whole new name for this guy. The skies above you darken, and the ground between Terran and Mstride changes. It begins to melt inwards and not from fire. It shifts and bends downwards, and it's a weird trick of the eye. You see Terran and Mstride and the orcs even kind of look and shake their heads, and anybody else that sees this sees the ground kind of fall inwards and then begin to fill with blood. And then from the center of this bloody small puddle, this form begins to appear, this humanoid shape. And this shape doesn't look that much like Drift. The shape is a little larger. Where Drift was a relatively short teenager, this looks like a slightly larger human, more well kept. You are tall now. This shape begins to shift and change, the blood crystallizing to a kind of warm reddish brick hue, the color of Drift's skin. And you see a larger, older Drift. Drift, you probably look like you're in your late 20s now. And you look good. You don't have a short stature at all. Again, you're completely naked. You do look like you. Your face looks similar, but it's older, and the tone of your muscles, where they might have been good before, are excellent. You look like peak physical tiefling condition. Your horns are a little larger, and this pool of blood underneath you crystallizes once again as Drift the First appears for in this fight. Drift, as you begin, as you appear here, you, like the others, have the same kind of sense, the same idea of what was going on as you appeared. Although you weren't maybe hurtling towards the earth, you maybe felt it, you sensed it. You can see everything that's going on, and you could feel everything that was happening as you appeared.
Right.
You hear the voice once again of the First, but this time it doesn't sound like it's coming from far away. It sounds like it's your own thoughts from inside your own mind, as he says,
Come then. Let us complete our pact.
as far as anything else is concerned, you're still you. You have all of the effects. And also, lucky for you, it's nighttime. You appear. It is your turn. Yeah. What would you like to do? Drift enters the battle.
I think you're just going to see Drift, like, sort of, like, stand up, like, fully. Like, he was, like, hunched over just a little bit and stand up fully. And he's just going to have, like, a little moment where he just smiles. And he's just going to, like, look down at himself. Puberty's never felt so good. And I'm just gonna start rushing, sort of like rushing towards this orc by who was my homie? M Stride, right? Was the one who loved me? Yeah. I see M, and I'm just gonna literally rush towards, and I'm gonna roll pretty much right over M Stride. Move right by his side.
Yeah.
And I'm naked, right? Butt naked.
Yeah, you're completely naked. Yeah.
Lots of flopping
perfect.
With that run.
Perfect. So I'm gonna does my shadow sword work when I'm trying to activate it, bring it out?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So as you see me running, you see like my hand go up and my shadow sword form, and as I jump to stab it in the orc, instead you see me grab the back of the orc's head and go in for a bite. I'm gonna vampire bite the orc.
That's right, Drift. You also have very long canine teeth. M Stride watches you run into the battle. He has no idea who you are or what's going on, but you jump on the orc and he seems to be okay with it. As he just went, what the fuck? And then you jump on an orc and
I got this.
Huge canines.
I pull the back of his head down and just grab into the side of the orcs.
Yeah, give me a bite attack.
What the heck? Oh my god, that was terrible!
A natural 1 from Drift.
Got some tough ass.
Possibly the best intro of any D&D campaign ever.
That orc has got literal irons.
Running in your... And you've never had legs this long. Roll me a d20.
I'm still Drift, man. Like, nothing's gonna change there.
Roll me a d20.
That's 100% an anime moment where it's like a super epic anime moment, and then it goes in and
the
he
most
runs.
anime shit in the world just happened there.
Frame.
And then there's like eyes looking around like,
This is fucking awful.
It's the Naruto fart.
No!
This is fucking awful. You run at him and you run towards this orc and you jump at him. He just grabs you round the throat and catches you and slams you into the ground, which wins you, and you are now stunned for 1 round.
Oh my god!
As he slams you into the ground.
That's so bad!
And that is where we're going to go to our break.
Oh no!
with the
Can I roll
orc.
perception to see them?
Yeah.
I already rolled and I rolled a 9. I doubt I see you.
You don't see him. No, you see someone else over there kind of in this fight, but it's kind of hard to make out over everything that's happening. You see
Do I have to
everyone.
roll it for each person or just all of them?
If you roll over a 10, you see whatever you want to see. Pretty
Let's
much.
go. I see them all.
Believe whatever you want to.
21 for drift.
21. Yeah, you see everything going on, and then suddenly you're slammed into the ground.
I'm
in
gonna
the
see him
wind.
as I'm getting stunned. As I was getting picked up from the orc, I had that moment to like look around and notice they're there, and then I get slammed. Cool.
Fucking
Yeah, M-Stride like watches all this happen, and then just bam, he brings his greatsword out and swings at the orc, who kind of like looks at you and then turns back. And the fight continues. We're gonna jump to a quick break here. When we return, we'll see if you can win the day. See if you can get up off the ground. Thanks for watching, everyone. The squad's back together. And yeah, you're also on a bit of a time limit as the mountain above you erupts into sort of purple fire and flame and volcano. Well, there's a big ritual happening somewhere deep within that mountain that you don't want them to complete, I don't think. We'll find out after the break what these guys do, and we'll see everybody who's watching in a couple of minutes. Go do whatever it is you do on a break, okay? All right, well, see you in a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second half of the combat here. And Drift has been stunned, slammed to the ground by an orc. He's not quite used to his slightly larger frame here. And the archers finally get to fire their bows. Let's start with McKinnon, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So McKinnon fires a shot at the orc in front of where she is, point blank range. It launches over his head. The archer behind her does hit though, and wow, that goes in his fucking ear. That is fuck, dude.
Max damage.
The archer behind just, and this orc, which is kind of like shouting at 19.
Me kill you before you eat me, ha ha ha, little man.
You're probably bigger than him. And then an arrow just goes into his ear.
Me still kill.
His entire left-hand side of his body isn't working, but he's kind of like stumbling towards you, stubbornly clinging onto life, barely. There's an archer who fires an arrow at the orc, which is next to Terran, a little over here. This archer by the priest, who seems to be completely responsible for protecting the police, launches an arrow at that orc. Unfortunately, it barely misses him, glancing past and hitting the rocks beyond. Then there is a final archer which fires an arrow at one of the orcs over the river of Flava here, where you are, Rin. And yeah, she fires it, and this orc kind of like brings up a sort of weird bracer, a shield that he's got on his arm, and it pings off the side of it. Is at this point, I'd like everybody to make me dexterity saving throws. If you are stunned, you don't get to make one.
14.
Automatically fail. Great.
Yeah. That's everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I was reading some bullshit.
Stop bloody reading, alright? Reading ain't got
17.
no one nowhere in life.
Oh no!
Wow, that's a natural 1 from 19. So a 17 and a 14. The 14 is a fail, unfortunately. The 17 is a make, as you take the failures, Iridir, 19, and Drift. This volcanic activity around you is rumbling wildly. There's bits of debris flying across you. Every now and then there'll just be a flaming piece of rock that lands nearby. Unfortunately, these rocks at this point hit you, or at some point over the last few seconds. Iro, a flaming piece of flava just hits you.
I'm immune to fire damage though, Brad.
Yes, you are. The few of you are hit by these flaming things, and they spread across your body, and you see these horrible flava things as it. McKinnon screams as she sees it, and then you just stand there and brush it off.
What?
Drift on the ground, you're hit by flava as it just kind of this huge amount. M-Stride jumps out of the way. The orc kind of shields himself.
I've been doing crunches!
And you just remain. This flame kind of still burning.
Immune?
Yeah, the flame is
sweet.
burning on you. The flame doesn't go out. This purple fire doesn't go out easy. And you guys just standing there kind of push the flava off of you, which removes the flame. 19 just engulfed in this fire, and this is the first time you've been hit by fire. I guess the fireball in the vacuum was there, but you expect this extreme pain. This is one of the only things that has ever caused you true pain, and it was awful before, and you're engulfed by it. It drips off of you and hits the ground, and you feel nothing on your metals. There is a voice from inside you, Drift, that says,
Never again will they burn me with flame. But I will say this. Avoid water at all costs. Keep my vessel safe.
And yeah, there are a couple of other people that you see kind of hit by this fire. A couple of the orcs. There's like a dude in the distance, just an off-camera guy who Wilhelm screams as he's engulfed by flame. One of the Rose Guard kind of platoon members, and you guys completely immune to this volcanic activity. Bringing us to Rin's turn. Who's over here somewhere, hidden away.
Me. I'm ready.
What do you do?
I believe I can still attack this orc from all the way where I am with my flame attack. So I'm gonna do that now.
Alright.
Oh, 11.
11. The firebolt launches outwards and hits the fire of the lava beyond him.
All right. Fuck it. I'm also gonna take my movement, and I'm gonna.
Still doesn't know you're there. I'm gonna run over here and I'm going to attack him. I'm gonna use my bonus action to. Oh wait, I don't think I can actually. No, I can't. So I will stay there. Okay. Is that into your turn?
Alone. Yep.
Alright then. Bringing us to Stonesworn and the Knight's turn. Stonesworn sees the war chief lift his sword up into the air, and he. You know what? I don't think he is going to do that. He's in fact going to stab at each of these orcs. I don't think he wants to be wasting his time. Wow, damn.
Whoa!
So that first one is a natural 20 from Stonesworn, and that was on the one on the right, the smaller orc, not the war chief. And the second one is a miss. His first attack deals killing blow. You just see him just he swings wildly, pushes the orc war chief back, and then opens up the ability to just slice across the front of this orc's throat, and it just opens a huge gap. The orc's head kind of bends backwards unnaturally from this greatsword's terrifying wound across his mouth, and he just there's a rush of blood that fires outwards towards Stonesworn, runs down the greatsword, splashes up his arm and shoulder. He swings again at the orc war chief, who parries it back. M-Stride is also going to attack the orc next to him. On a 19, that's a hit as well. 19, M-Stride, nice. 10 damage to the one that chokeslammed you, Drift. He just probably he sees the opportunity that you gave him, brings his own greatsword forward, twists it somewhat, and brings it just straight into the abdomen of this orc in front of him, wrenches it sideways. The orc's still standing, but he'll die tomorrow if he doesn't die in a minute.
He's gonna die.
There's another knight which is fighting a little to your right-hand side on the ground. And he's fighting this orc. He is going to swing. Oh, another natural 20.
What the heck?
100% another kill strike. This one, this knight, who's he isn't nameless, but I can't remember which one he is. He kicks this orc, and then just as the orc is falling backwards, he just drives this thing straight through his chest and heart, killing that orc there.
Brad, didn't you kill the one north of Captain Stonesword? Didn't he killing blood?
Dead. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't show him dead on my screen. That's the only reason. Oh, there we go. Sweet.
Yeah, so they just go wild. They're killing people. Terran.
They don't need us.
Yeah, they're doing all right. He is going to swing at the other guy here with his spear. 21 is a hit. He stabs that orc in front of him that's already got an arrow in his back. But this orc won't go down. He's pretty hurt, but it's not hurt enough. That is the end of their turns. Eero, it is your turn. Everybody around you is stabbing orcs, killing orcs. An arrow hits the orc in the side of the head here, but he's kind of still standing. What would you like to do on your turn?
Yes, I'm going to use my Mantle of Majesty to cast command on this orc again. And I say, excuse me, let me say that a little bit louder. Grovel!
Come on.
Let me give you a whiz save. 19. He has an arrow in his brain, and he can't understand anything. That wasn't orcish.
Oh, hell! And then I'm going to, I'm going to, that's a bonus action. I'm going to use, I'm going to vicious mockery him, and I'm going to talk like him with my actor feat. I can do that. I say, "You have arrow in brain. You already dead." And
Another whiz save.
Yes.
Oh,
10.
good.
He says, and dies as his brain melts with an arrow from the psychic damage. He's like turning around, but just like, and he's probably dead like a few seconds before he stops speaking. He's just that stubborn. He just, and then he just crumples.
I look up at McKinnon and shrug my shoulders.
Yeah, like all of his stuff falls out and splays out as this just enormous orcish form crumples in front of you, and yeah, you successfully kill this one. What else would you like to do?
I will rush over to 19, and I will hug the living shit out of him.
He does not hug back. He does not look at Eero. He has his eyes on the prize. He's after orcs.
He's orc hunting,
What
boy.
happened? Why are you here? Oh my god!
Alright. He doesn't answer, bringing us to the Orc War Chief, who is fighting with Stone Sworn here. He's gonna try and mess him up. Okay. Oh no, I clicked the wrong thing. 17 and a 9. Incredible. Both miss. These two are just continuing to do their thing. The orcs, which are still alive, have their turn. This time we're going to start with the ones who are over here by Rin. They don't know that you're there, so they just launch their javelins again at this woman with her own.
Poor archer.
thing. That's 2 hits.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Is she dead?
That's a lot of damage. 16 damage. She's an elf. She kind of like fleet of foot kind of avoids somewhat, but you see her kind of like the javelins hit her, but they don't puncture through her armor. They kind of like hit it, and she goes like being shot with bullet Kevlar on. The 2 of them hit her, and then she stumbles. I'm gonna make her do a dex save to not fall off of this thing that she's on. Pretty good. I'll give her an acrobatics check. 14 is enough as she stabilizes herself, but she does take a decent amount of damage, and she looks kind of hurt. The archers ain't all that weak. Normally they're weak, but these guys are. They've been hunting orcs for a long time. Yeah, she takes a bit of damage. She's looking a little beat up. For some reason, she was at full health there, so whatever. The next orc, who else is alive? This one fighting with M-Stride next to you, Drift. There's just like, you're on the ground winded as there's just this battle happening above you of these horrible weapons. And then this guy is going to try and swing at M-Stride. M-Stride with his bald head and kind of gruff. He's a giant dude as it is. He probably looks like something from Gears of War. And then he takes a great axe to the chest. That's 5 slashing. As the orc kind of boom hits this plate armor that they're wearing. It'll take more than that, you big green bastard. He says. Let's go with the Orc Eye of Grunch. Now he had created the spear, spiritual weapon behind M-Stride, so I think he can just attack again.
Yeah, you just used the spell again and it should attack.
17 is a miss. As the spiritual weapon probably dings the back of his armor, and he stumbles forward.
Jeez. He's so strong.
Yeah, they're lucky they're wearing like big armor. Is that it? Is there another one in here? Oh yeah, there's the one that 19 is facing down. The final one, another orc eye of Grumsh here, kind of sees you heading towards him, 19, and says,
You no kill me. Me send you back wherever you come from, Metal One.
very broken orcish towards you. He also is going to cast a spiritual weapon, and that's going to appear next to you. On a 15, is that a hit or a miss? 19.
It is a miss.
Miss?
Well, absolutely. Wait, you got a what? A 15? That's a miss for sure.
Yeah, this spear appears next to you, and you, as it kind of jabs from nowhere. And then the dude in front of you just runs at you. I think he can just run at you. Take an action to use the spiritual weapon or not? You know what? Yeah, he just runs at you.
No, it's a bonus action.
Straight up bonus. Yeah, he runs at you with his own spear, and he charges forward, and he's going to try and stab you. On a 19.
I have my shield out right now, so that is also a miss.
Cool. Yeah, he just hits the shield, and the spear goes up, runs up the side of the shield there. And that brings us to your turn, 19, as this giant, he's a pretty big fucking orc in front of you. He's got all these weird adornments over him, like he's some sort of orcish priest. He growls at you. You're probably equal height and roughly equal size.
So the first thing he does is I would like to take a moment, Brad, to ask you if you'll welcome me to do this, even though it's just for canon. When he throws the spiritual weapon at me and it misses, and then when he charges in at me with his spear, is it a spear?
He's got a spear in his hand, and there's also one floating next to you, yeah.
I would like to say that when he tried to get me with the spear, I dropped the shield and grabbed his spear from stopping it from hitting me. And then I looked at him and I went, Two can play that game. And with my other hand, I start kind of whirling my hand a little bit. And as a bonus action, I'm going to cast spiritual weapon, and I'm going to cast it as an absolutely enormous buster sword that pops up next to him. And then as I'm looking at his attention, I go, and I kind of nod to his left, and it's just there. And I just wanted to, just to come down on him.
Is it like the sword that you saw in the shop that you wanted?
It is now.
I will give you power over this sword that has just appeared on the thing.
And that was a 20 for the spiritual weapon.
Woo! 20 is a hit.
And that is now I'm clicking spiritual weapon, and it's asking me to cast it again.
You should click on the word spiritual weapon in the dice roller column.
In the dice roller column, okay.
Yeah,
One
highlight
second.
red.
11.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this dude kind of wrenches his spear away from you. He looks to his right. This sword kind of cuts him. This giant buster sword opens a wound. What? Are you
Is
okay?
that damage?
This is what damage? 11
The
damage.
spiritual
Oh
weapon.
wait, no, yeah, that was an attack roll. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just another attack roll. I was like, that looks
click
like
the
the same
word
thing.
spiritual weapon in the column, the dice roller column.
For some reason, it's not working, because that's what I did. And if I click on spiritual weapon itself, it just asked me to cast it again.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, it did. There it is,
you
right
go.
there. There it is. Oh, there we go. 11 force
11.
damage.
It was 11 anyway. Amazing.
11 anyways.
Yeah, it cuts a wound in this orc. He kind of shrugs it off. He's got a few scars, and he growls at you again.
He then, as he jerks this thing away, as he jerks it, he kind of in motion comes down and picks his shield back up, tosses in the air, catches it, puts the sword, puts the shield back in his sides, and he goes, and he grabs his fucking great sword out, and it almost makes like a fucking breaks the sound barrier noise for a second, and then he is going to go ahead and hit him with a whirlwind.
Okay, do that.
It's going to be 20 damage, or 20. And then if it hits,
20 hits, yeah.
we're going to go ahead and go for 8 more slashing damage. And I think that doesn't whirlwind do 2 sets of damage? It was something like that, or is that actually already? Let me read it real quick. You can make 2 attacks against 1 target, spinning your weapon. So do I get 1 more attack roll, or just 1 more damage? I assume another attack roll.
You get another
right?
attack roll, yeah. You're spinning around. This is an anime move where you're jumping around in the air, spinning about. That was a bad idea, wasn't it? You should have just.
First time I've ever used it before, so.
First time, yeah. You just jump into the air, spinning around like a whirlwind, and you hit one. You see it slice open another kind of wound in this orc, and then you need to roll me another d20.
10.
10. Roll it again. It's insanely impossible.
10.
Roll it again. It's impossible.
7.
7. As you land, your opponent gets a free grapple check on you. Give me an athletics or a dexterity or an acrobatics check, as this guy's gonna try and grab you.
24.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you like land and he like tries to grab you, and you just like you're already spinning away from him as you break his hold on you. And is that the end of your turn?
At that point in time, I'm kind of holding my sword for a second, and as I'm holding it, I look at him and go, "Good fight, good orc," and that's all he says. And then he passes his turn.
Me no good orc. Me eat you, mental man.
Let's see. It is the priest's turn. I don't think he sees any people who are too injured, so I guess he will. Let's see. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. He didn't give a shit, bro.
Did you do the 8 damage to the orc that was in front of me?
I believe I did not.
Okay.
But now I did. Yeah, this priest sees the orc who's fighting with Terran over here, who he knows is the weak link of the group. So he is going to attempt to shoot him with, well, hit him with a sacred flame. Flame. He just shouts at this, towards this orc, sacred flame! And the orc makes the dex save of 12. The priest's save is 13. That's a fail, killing that orc because he had no health. The orc is just frazzled and burnt with radiant flame. It just opens up a column, and when the column closes, there is a child orc left behind. As this priest messes this boy up, bringing us to Drift, who is stunned. What do you do on the ground, Drift?
So I can't do anything this turn, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so all you see is just Drift just laying there, just like, of course, it had to happen to me.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. And you see me just start to sit up, like, or just start to like slowly get out of the stun. And all you hear me say is, looks like I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. As I'm getting up.
McKinnon and the archers are all firing arrows all over the place. Let's see here. How many are there? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that like 75? No, it was 4.
5.
4 hits.
Oh yeah,
no.
4.
3 hits. So McKinnon and the archer behind her fire their longbows at the one that you're fighting with, 19. 1, 2, 6, 16 piercing damage. 2 arrows launch in as this guy is like fighting with you, and you just see him hit like 1, 2 arrows hit this big orc who
You know, fight fair.
and and he continues to fight. The archer down by the priest fires into the fray and misses, and then the archer which stumbled over on the thing by Rin hits one of these guys over there. For 7 piercing damage, she hits the top orc, bringing us to the top of the round again.
She doesn't fall down?
Oh, she killed him. Yeah, she did.
Yes!
Yeah,
Yes!
this orc just gets an arrow in the eye.
Okay.
As this archer kind of re-establishes her balance and runs up to the edge of the flava a little more and just.
Okay. After the shock of seeing 19 actually reappear, what weapons do I see on the 2 knights and the orc that's dead closest to me?
Yes, there are weapons and armor everywhere. There is lots of weapons, lots of armor, lots of gear in general. The knights have on them heavy armor. They have plate armor. There are sets of plate armor, and not all of the knights are human. There are some that are male, some that are female, some that are halfling, some that are tiefling. But in general, there is a bunch of sets of plate armor around. For the most part, they have great swords.
Okay.
You can see heavy crossbows on them as well. The orcs also have an assortment of weapons. Most of them don't look quite as nice, but for the most part, they seem to be stolen from people that they've killed. They have all sorts of adornments and things on them. You see javelins, you see spears. Roll me a d20.
Okay.
On these two.
Glasses in the chat, please. Please, please. Please, 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 please. Please, please, please. 8.
There is no longbows on these orcs in front of you.
Okay. That's all right.
You see just javelins, spears, and whatever armor they have on them, which I believe is hide armor as well. Nasty looking, way too big for you, to be honest.
Okay. I am going to run now that this other guy has dropped down. I'm gonna run and charge behind this orc, and I'm gonna attack him with my fists.
All right.
Attack
him.
Oh boy.
You appear out of nowhere for this guy as well, by the way.
25.
There you are. 25 is a hit.
Wonderful. So that's 4, and then because I'm 5th level, I will attack again.
Okay.
20.
That is a hit.
Another 7.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna spend a key point
to kill the orc. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I just have to read this again. Flurry of blows is, as a bonus action, another 2 unarmed strikes. Okay. 16
is a hit.
5.
How would you like to kill the orc?
Fuck yeah. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So as soon as I see that other orc drop down, I run like I'm still naked. I run out from behind the thing and I just leap onto the back of this orc and I punch him right through the face. Like I'm punching him repeatedly and then eventually my fist just goes through his ear and like, yeah, absolutely.
Me.
Yeah. It mess his face up. There's just a pulp left. It's just quick as well. And then you land and then he falls like behind you, you know.
Does he have a bow?
Roll me a d20.
You're gonna hate me by the end of this.
You're gonna get a 20.
2?
He does not.
Damn it.
One of the numbers.
Probably would have been using it. The elven archer woman across the thing, she just shouts down to you, "Who are you?"
I'm Rin. I'm here to help, I think.
Okay. She just turns around and pulls a longbow, another arrow out, and knocks it towards the other side of the combat going on the other side of the flava. You can still move if you have movement left, or
I do have a little bit of movement left. Is this purple flava here? Is it like flame though?
I mean, it looks like lava. It's just purplish.
When I approach it, it doesn't burn me.
I don't know. What do? Do you touch it?
Well, I want to. Yes.
Yeah? How?
I want to get close to it. I don't want to touch it, but like I feel like lava. If you get close to it, you feel the heat.
You can feel the heat, yeah.
But it doesn't bother me.
Feels hot. It's not burning you yet if you're not touching it. It's pretty hot though.
Okay, hang on. I have to do some math.
Play some Benny Hill music.
Yeah. How far away was this? Too far. Yep, that's it. I will just get right ready here.
All right. As you dip a toe, like dipping a toe in a hot bath. Stone Sworn.
Sure do love me a hot bath, I tell you what.
Let me tell you what. Stone Sworn's gonna swing a couple swords towards the orcish chief himself. And that is a 17 and 18, which is 2 hits. This is some nice hits. Damn, 20.
Wow!
A big slam as he just omni slash, cross slash, bravers the fucking orc over here. And he deals a bunch of damage to it. 20 slashing damage in total. The M Stride's going to do the same thing. He's going to try and hit the orc that is above you, Drift, and you, as you're standing up, you see him just swing this sword at the orc in front of you, and the orc takes a great sword to the mouth. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm too busy to make it. The M Stride just jams this great sword into the bottom of this orc's chin and just destroys him. The blood of the orc kind of like splats across your body, and M Stride looks down at you and says, "Who the fuck are you?" Still got the sword pointed towards you.
It's me, Drift.
I don't think so, lad. You ain't the curse breaker.
Oh, but I am. And I just give him like a smile, hoping he'll remember my face some way. Like, just I smile at him.
All right, give me.
Can I persuade him to believe me?
No, I don't think so. If you're just smiling at him, he's just going to try and see if he can see your face. He says, he doesn't seem to recognize you. He kind of grips the sword and says, "What are you doing here then?"
Here to help you.
Yeah,
in any which way.
Be. And he turns around as this spear, this spiritual spear, kind of jabs at him, and he turns away from you. This knight over here comes running in towards the Orcai of Grumch guy. He's gonna swing at that guy. 23's a hit. Gonna hit that guy for 12 slashing damage. Big dams. Big dams. Terran, that's his name.
Tyrion.
Tyrion. Tyrion is gonna fucking run up and he's gonna join the fight as he runs up towards Stone Sworn. Stone Sworn's like immediately sees him running up. No, get back, leave it! And then Terran's like running in with his little spear because he is Krillin. He's the Krillin of this group, 100%. But on a 22, he's Krillin doing the thing that Krillin does sometimes, where he actually does. Yeah. He actually sometimes manages to deal damage and just does like a little cut across the orc war chief. Sometimes we prove a god can bleed or whatever type of situation. That's the end of all of their turns, I believe, bringing us to Iro Dia up there.
Go, Iro!
And I just behind 19 I say, "Welcome back, friend. Let's see if I can help." And I say, is that Drift? And I look over to Drift. Is Drift still on the ground?
I'm stunned. Yeah, I'm
he's
just
like
getting up, so
up.
I can't see. I can't see you yet.
I'm going to move here, and I look at this Orcai of Grumsh again, and I sort of pull up my short shorts.
Yeah.
And I say,
I didn't want to have to make you make a save for it, but
I say, Bravo!
Oh, it's a whiz save. Right?
Actually, I'm sorry. Take that back. Halt!
Halt. And his whiz save is a 7.
So on a halt, the target doesn't move and takes no actions.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Which means I would have advantage on my turn, correct?
No, he just takes no actions. So he just like stands
But
there.
what about bonus actions?
It says no actions.
Yeah,
That's
kidding.
So I'm going to then with my main action, I will look at him and extend 2 fingers, and I say, I've never done this before. I'm going to try it. Firebolt!
All right, give me that attack roll.
25
is a hit.
My gosh.
So 6 fire damage.
6 fire damage. Yeah, he's just standing there, his eyes kind of shifting around in his head, and this firebolt comes in and hits him across the side of the face. He doesn't react. He can't. But he's stopped and it burns him. He's still standing. He's not dead.
And I say, 19, finish him off. You can do it. And that's it for my turn.
All right, the Orc War Chief is going to make 1 swing at Stone Sworn and 1 swing at Terran. 23 and an 11. He hits Stone Sworn. Captain Stone Sworn takes 10 slashing damage as he continues to go back and forth. Another bit of damage dealt. The Orc starts to, the War Chief starts to shout, but he shouts over his shoulder up towards where the Orcai of Grumsh is, and in Orcish he says, and that is the end of his turn, bringing us to the other
That's
Orc.
fucking right.
Eye of Grumsh's turn, who is engaged with this other knight down here. He is first of all going to make his attack towards Emstride with the spiritual weapon, and then he is going to make a one-handed attack with the other one. 2 misses towards the knight. You see him bring out his own spear and swipe it towards the knight which is stood next to him, and then Emstride kind of avoids, as he's speaking with Drift, this jab from the spiritual weapon which spins in the sky behind him. 19, make me a perception check. Iro, make me a perception check.
What about me?
Nope.
Damn it.
Natural 1.
Wow. 19.
22.
22. You hear after the war chief shouts up towards your direction, basically. His words. You hear like a war horn go off, but it's in the distance and it's further up the mountain towards the north of where this map is. You hear like a war horn in the distance, and I don't think I have a sound for it. Go off in the distance above where you are. Other than that, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
The first thing, since it's socially like incoherent, he like sees Iro do his thing and gets him to stop, and as he does that, he just kind of like touches his head, and as he does it, the huge great sword is going to come down on the back of the orc that is right there.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and spiritual weapon roll attack for a 15.
15 is a miss, I think. You say he doesn't have advantage?
He just halts. It doesn't put a condition on him.
Right. Oh wait, no. It does hit him. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
He wasn't using his shield, so
that is going to go down on him for a total of 11 force damage.
How do you want to kill him?
How would you like to kill him?
I would literally like to say that this spiritual weapon, like, it's almost like everything stops for a second as it hits the top of his head, and it's almost like the orc's like looking like he's like gonna hit me or something like that, but he's all stuck, and all of a sudden it just goes and it just cuts all the way from the middle of him, cuts him straight in half.
Yeah.
And then the spiritual weapon comes back up and like kind of sticks itself in the ground for a second. And then I look over at Eero and I nod again. And I then am going to, with 19, I am going to run my full movement and I am going to be charging at the orc right there. And as I run by, you didn't hear the horn? And I yell pretty much as loud as I can that there was like a fucking horn that went off for everybody hopefully be able to hear me.
I think everyone does. It's pretty loud here, but it's not that bad.
This is a perfect opportunity. Is our bullshit that happened to us down in the below still applicable? Because I had hearing perception fuckery.
Yeah, it is.
Is that gone? Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, but you don't need to make a perception check. I think you can clearly hear him if you want. It's up to you.
Wait, did I hear him too?
Everyone heard it, yeah, I think.
I pretty much yelled, there was a horn. There's like a, what would it be called? Like a
boy!
Like, what the hell would it be called? Like, not a
War
retreat,
horn?
but
War horn.
what's the opposite of a war horn? A war horn does that? I pretty much yelled horn reinforcements because I would assume that reinforcements are coming.
Sure. Do you want to move?
Yeah, I'm going to move. I have more for my turn for sure. Just a lot of people were talking.
Sally.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Shut up, Karen!
I'm really excited. I can't.
That's too much.
I'm gonna run over to the other orc that is fighting Stone Sworn, and I'm going to charge at it with my great sword. And when I get there, I'm going to be attempting to slice it. Now I have a question, because I'm not in that fight, and it's okay. I assume it's a no. But will I have advantage since he's got two people in front of him he's dealing with, and I'm running up behind him?
No.
Okay, just about asking.
Yeah, that's
so.
Whatever thingy move.
I run up and I'm going for a straight up huge ass great sword attack. Now, here's the thing is we never added the great sword in. So all I have is whirlwind. So I don't have a regular great sword's attacks right now. So what do I need to roll? I can put it in later. I meant to ask you about that before the stream started, but I forgot.
I think you can just search great sword and then drag it.
I can do it.
It was it a regular great sword or was it a great sword +1 because it had the whirlwind thing? I can't remember when you told me about it.
I can't remember either. I think it's a normal greatsword, but you have the whirlwind move, which is...
That's what it was, I think, too. Okay.
Just go to the eye up at the top right, Tiger, the compendium, and then search.
Already
oh, yeah, he's already putting it in there for me.
Okay.
So he runs at it, and he's just going for a straight, just overhead, straight down on top of him. And it is a 14.
A 14 is a miss. Yeah, the war chief sees you come in, and you see Stonesworn kind of like wipe out one of them. The two of them start going back and forth, and then as you come running in, this war chief is probably a little bigger than you. He's a big dude, and he turns to you and brings his axe up, and you just hit the. You see him kind of stumble backwards under the force of the hit, but he growls at you and parries your attack there.
Last thing I'm going to do is move my spirited weapon to 25 feet that it has, and that's what my turn.
White. Fuse hair, the priest. How far can he get? Not that far. He's going to move over here. And he is going to... Cast Sacred Flame again. I think he's conservative with his spells as he launches a Sacred Flame at the Orcai of Grunch, which is down here. So you just see this dude running in the background and launches one down at the dude. Why isn't it going through? Come on.
There's no way to not see McLoken right in front of me when you do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we made a rule back in Fractal Worlds that when you cast Sacred Flame, that's how it's done. Alright. The Orcai of Grunch. Why did I close that? What is wrong with me? Alright. Dex save. 19, yeah, this Sacred Flame comes down. The Orcai of Grunch jumps out of the way while spinning his spear at the whatever his name is. It's Knight over there, bringing us to Drift, who finally, I assume, stands up.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I realize, like, I take a moment to because I did such a stupid thing, like trying to use my new legs and like my new everything and bite and whatever. I hear 19, and you just see. I yell out, and I just go, 19? Is that you?
He doesn't respond.
And then I see Eero when I look at 19, and I go Eero. And then when I'm turning back around to find my next target, I see Rin.
Do you?
Do I? Can I?
I don't know because there's a huge thing in between us.
Oh, you
That's
can
the
see
only
Rin.
reason why I didn't.
Can I see her?
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that see him?
okay.
Title of
You
your
see someone,
sex tape,
you
there's
can
a
see an
huge thing
adult.
between us.
You can see an adult tiefling.
So can we?
It's up to you.
Rin, are you okay with making eye contact right now?
Yes.
And you're just gonna see me smile. And I'm just gonna like very cool, just like sort of like raise my hand.
My fist is covered in blood, but I raise it up.
And then I look away from her, and I'm just gonna go, you! And the ogre to my south, I'm gonna hexblade curse him.
Okay.
I'm gonna choose him as the one who's gonna die next. And I run at him. No bite this time. Like I said, old-fashioned way. Shadow sword out, slicing through him with the knight. Here's Drifty.
A 19 is a hit.
7 damage.
You're hitting him with Peacekeeper, not your Shadow Sword.
Oh, sorry.
I think
No,
the attack
Shadow
roll
Sword
is
for
the
sure.
same, but roll the Shadow Sword for damage.
Okay. Even better. 24.
Oh, yeah, it was a 21 before, I guess.
11 damage.
11 damage. And what's the extra stuff he does?
For what? Oh, because I hit that well?
The Hexblade, doesn't that do extra damage? Or am I crazy?
Yep. Hexblade's curse isn't it a 1d4? It's been a while since I've done it.
I don't know.
You gain a bonus damage roll against the cursed target. The bonus equals your proficiency. I'm pretty sure it's a 1d4.
It's 3.
No, it's just
1d.
proficiency.
Your proficiency is
Oh, it's just plus 3.
your proficiency, yeah, so it's 3.
Cool. So that's 14 damage. And then any attack roll you make against the cursed target is a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20 on a d20. Did I do that?
Yeah, it was a 21. Oh no, is it a natural 19? Yeah, it's a natural 19, not a. You rolled a 13.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Great.
So
yeah. Yes. So 14 damage.
14 damage?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, yeah. You come in, this thing just like turns around and sees this naked tiefling coming at you, and then you just bring this thing down. You slice a wound down one arm as he's trying to bring his shield up towards you. And he turns around and...
You die too.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Alright. McKinnon and the archers are all gonna fire. They can't see this one, so 3 will fire at this guy and 1 will fire at the other guy. Let's go, archers. 1, 2, 3 towards the one you're attacking, 2 hits, and then the last one towards the chief, a miss. So 2 hits on the guy that you're fighting with. That is 20 damage in total.
Jesus!
M-Stride is fighting with this spiritual weapon when it disappears. Drift, you slice the arm of this orc and it completely distracts him, and you just see 2 arrows. One straight into his heart, the second one into his neck as he stumbles backwards. Dead. This guy is dead. The archers are fucking OP, god damn. Rin. It is your turn.
They've always been OP.
Yeah, these guys are insane.
I have a question.
Yes.
This flame on bullshit. Do we just innately know that we can do this when we land?
Yes.
Oh God! Okay, I see Drift alive, and I immediately flame on.
Okay.
Which I believe the way you described it last week is I just innately know if I flame on, flame can't hurt me? Or is it just in general, I don't think flame can hurt me?
In general, flame can't hurt you. You don't need to be flame on, but you can flame on.
Whatever, I'm gonna flame
the
on anyway.
The Heart of Fire thing is the thing that allows you to fucking...
Okay, I flame on and I'm going to run through this. I'm gonna run.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you just human torch, and then it's just in the corner here. The first thing that ignites is your eyes, and then the rest of your body follows. Your hair turns to flame and starts to move upwards behind you as you start running.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh man. Do I see? Okay, so I'm gonna run across here.
You're running into the purple flame.
Yep.
You touch it with your legs.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it's fine. Nothing happens. You just run across it.
That's addicted.
Okay. Okay. I would like to eyeball and see if any of these dead people have a bow.
All right. Give me a D20.
Come on, get it right here.
11?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, God, Bus is in the chat. Oh, fuck.
You don't
me.
see the, hang on, I'll show you what it is.
Just steal it from an archer.
Here's what it is.
Yeah, I'm about ready to.
This knight over here, right? There's a dead archer underneath him.
Great, okay.
And there is a longbow there.
Okay, hold on, let me measure.
But you don't see it.
Okay,
the rest of these
Wow,
guys,
okay.
you're seeing the same kind of thing. Heavy crossbows. The Orc-Eye guy might have something different on him. He has a spear that he's dropped. He's got a couple of weird... He's got like a stave on him, and he's got some weird-looking armor on him too. But again, it's far too big for you. He looks like a fucking voodoo priest or something.
Okay. I think the only orc enemy still standing is the one by 19, correct?
The War Chief is the only one, yeah.
However, this Terry person is in the way of this orc, correct? So if I try to use a flame attack, it's gonna hit Terry, right?
Not unless you really fuck it up.
All right, I'm gonna try to attack it.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna really fuck it up, but we're gonna try really hard not to.
That doesn't sound positive reinforcement to your rolls.
Okay, we're not gonna fuck it up.
The one is incoming.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You got this.
Swear to God.
There's
15.
a 1 in there.
15.
You do miss.
120.
That's one thing you do is miss, but you don't hit Terran. It probably goes above into the distance. Anything else on your turn?
I think that's all I can do. Unfortunately.
Stone Sworn swings his attacks towards the thing. 2 misses. I think M Stride's gonna try and run in, but he can't get there. We can get there. Go on, the boy. He gets an attack too. 17 is a hit. M Stride, this big, giant, bald dude, comes running at the orc, and as he comes in, he just brings the greatsword along its side. This knight starts running up as well, but he probably can't get there either. Terran is going to try and stab the Orc War Chief. He's going to try and Krillin him again. Come on, Krillin. He does. He stabs him again for a big 9 damage. He's still alive. And that brings us to Irodir.
All right.
You have a weird line of sight on this thing, by the way. I don't think you can probably see him behind this rock.
I'm going to move here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Suggestion on the Orc War Chief. And I say to him, call off the reinforcements. You're going to lose. They are better off not dying.
Suggestion. All right, what do I need to roll?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. Why is my mic so weird? Wisdom saving throw from the War Chief. A 9. I assume is a fail.
Yeah.
He turns to you and kind of like he looks bewitched, and he says like he looks, cocks his head to one side, looks past you 19 at Iro, and just kind of slows down and says,
Me no call for reinforcement.
Well, what did you call for then?
Me tell Gargok to snap out of it.
Gargok?
he points at the dead body of the one that was desiccated by the Buster Sword, the spiritual Buster Sword.
Well, that's not helpful. And that's it for my turn.
Snaps out of it.
Shut up, little one.
If I saw M-Stride and Stone Sworn take damage.
Yeah. You can see everyone's kind of fucked up in parts and whatever.
No, that's it. That's it for my turn.
Okay. The War Chief gets his attacks in. One is going towards 19. Blap. A 7 is a natural 1. 19, roll me a d20.
1d20, huh? 1d20, you say? All right. Can I get to smack him?
Dunno. Roll a d20 and I'll tell you what you get.
17.
He actually just, he is tired. He looks super tired. He actually takes 1 point of exhaustion as he sweat pouring off of his head. He looks like he's been fighting for too long. Now that you're a little closer, you can see that he's quite old. He's got all these scars over him. And although he's big, he's probably been around for a pretty long time. He takes a point of exhaustion. That's what happened on that turn. The second swing comes down towards Stone Sworn. On a 13, he Stone Sworn again with the sword in his hand. 19, it's your turn.
Come on.
All the orcs are dead.
The first thing I'm going to do is when he swings at me, I would kind of say that I don't even have to move. I just kind of like move to the side like a little bit to swing it, and I go, "You seem tired."
Me never tired.
You're
Me
dead,
fight.
that's why. And as he says it, I do the exact same thing I did to the other orc. The spirit sword comes in at his side, and it's going to come straight down for a big cleave, just straight down the middle of him. Hopefully, we'll find out next time. Next week.
Next time.
What?
No, he's not in charge. Don't listen to him.
I'm not in control by any means. I got an 11 on that swing.
Yeah, he says,
Me not tired.
ducks underneath the, as it swings above his head.
Tricks, metal man. They not work against me.
As he's laughing, I go in, and depending on if it hits or not, I'll say what I'd like to do. I'm going for another great sword attack.
All right, yeah.
That would be a 21.
21 is a hit.
So as he's laughing, he kind of is like paying attention to the sword, and he goes, "You forgot about me, though." And he comes down, and he's trying to come down and just cut him in half as well with his great sword for a 7 slashing.
You do hit him, and you do slice him, but he's kind of pivoting away from you, and you deal 7 damage. But it's not enough to kill him. You just open another wound on him, and he's got all these wounds already. He's properly beat up. He looks tired. He's breathing heavy. But you cut him, but he's kind of moving fast. There's a lot, and everyone's swinging at him, and he's going to go down any second, but he's doing his best.
And that is my turn.
All right, Fuse Hair is going to run up to Stone Sworn and cast Cure Wounds.
Jesus.
Okay, it's called Cure Wounds. For 5 healing damage. Healing damage, yeah. Healing damage dealt to Captain Stonesworn as Fusehair runs up and says, "It's almost over!" Stonesworn, swinging his own sword back, defending off an attack from the orc in front of him, says, "We're nowhere near finished." Drift, your turn.
Jeez. Is that the only guy left?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. I think that Drift can't reach, but he wants to get into the action. So, if I shoot an Eldritch Blast and someone's in the line of fire, if I hit, it'll go through that. It'll be fine, right? I can like assume that it would go through their shoulders, right?
Yeah, I mean, fine. I can put stuff like they're in half cover from being behind things. Other than that, you don't need to worry about it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll
Their
just see
AC
Drift,
might be higher, and if you truly fuck it up, you'll hit someone like that.
Of course. Let's hope I don't do that. I'm gonna run up to on top of these like little rocks, just to get a little more of height. Yeah. And I'm just going to Eldritch Blast this guy. All right. Just all of us surrounding him. Yeah. Just throwing all. This is so sick.
He's being battered, but yeah.
14.
14 is a miss. You see him dunk down again as he launches down, hits the dirt beside 19's feet, kicks up.
All right, yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right. McKinnon and the archers, the OP archers.
Man, out of this poor orc out of this misery.
Can they move into position? How far can they move and get a fucking line of sight? This one can move over there.
Wait, can I shoot 2 of those? 2 Eldritch Blasts at my level? 6?
I don't know. I think so. Probably. Is that how that works?
I thought. Let me look.
That's the only thing you need to learn.
You say? Eldritch Blast.
Does he get 2?
It's 2 blasts.
Yeah, 2 beams at 5th level. Can I shoot 1 more? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Even though we skipped. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Sorry, my earbuds are like really hurting. That's why I keep taking them out.
No problem. Yeah, I'll hit him with another one. Yay! 26. And it does 5 force damage.
Yeah, you see him. He gets hit in the side of the head with this spell, and he growls.
Cool. Archer's still coming in.
Alrighty. Longbow.
Better than nothing.
4 longbow attacks. If this doesn't kill him,
He's dead.
Nothing
He's
will.
fucking dead, dude. The archers are so good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Slightly higher AC. Wow, they all miss. They're trying to be careful with their shots, trying to make sure they don't hit people. You see these arrows launch over the top. One goes straight through the spiritual buster sword. McKinnon kind of shouts towards you, Eero. Be careful, Eero. And you, that's the end of their turn.
Say, don't worry about me. We'll take care of him.
She glances at your tiny little short shorts and then shakes her head. Rin, your turn.
Okay. I am going to use a bonus action and I'm going to dash. I'm going to run up to this guy and I'm going to attack him with my fists.
Okay.
Twice.
Where the hell are you?
Well, I'm under him, or under Terry now. Sorry, Terry.
Krillin.
Yeah.
Aaron. Krillin.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You can't
Karen.
end your turn there, by the way.
Okay.
Be to the left of him.
Well, here, I'll just go here then.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, give me all your attacks. 16 is a hit.
4.
4 damage. Punch him in the side of the head.
Okay.
Flies. Nothing but flies.
I'm gonna spend a key point to try to stun him. So he has to roll a Constitution save.
Alrighty. Fail.
And I'm assuming with the 23, that second attack hit.
Yes.
4.
4 more damage. Doing anything else?
Nope.
All right, Gregorin Stonesworn, captain of this
Poor
platoon.
guy is he's stunned now.
You run in, you just blah 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 blah, and then there's one just like nasty elbow or something. You see this orc stumble too much before this huge greatsword cleaves his neck through. Stonesworn off with his head. The head flies through the air and lands in the flava. Ignites as it sinks someone, disappears. You guys successfully defeat this group of orcs as Stonesworn, kind of heavily breathing in front of all of you, kind of looks up at you all. They're looking around at each of you. Mstride kind of shoots a weird look over at you, Drift, and Stonesworn kind of, again, breathing heavily, like kind of rests on his sword and looks over and says,
Where the fuck did you come from?
looking at you, Rin.
I don't know. Another plane, maybe?
Why aren't you wearing any clothes?
Oh. Shit, I'm gonna roll.
Before you do that, was there flames that came up from the head that went into the flava?
Yeah, I mean, the same. You know when you throw something into lava and it does that weird ignite?
I would like to use control flames on the flames that came up from the flava.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to wreathe them around Rin to cover her up.
Oh!
I mean, she's kind of on fire already, or did you flame off?
Nope, I'm still on fire.
Well, then never mind. I'll just forget my whole
Stonesworn. Well, he kind of said it to like all of you, and he
I
glances.
covered Drift up.
Yeah, he glances towards Drift and says,
Cursebreaker? Is that you? You've aged in like 2 months.
Things have been pretty crazy around here.
Mstride says,
You sure that's the Cursebreaker? He looked about 14 before. Yeah, that's him.
I
looks a
run
little
and hug
different.
Drift.
There
Immediately.
isn't enough time for this. We must go.
19, what are you...
We must go. You heard them just as much as I did, I'm sure of it. We must stop them. We must go now. We have to.
Stonesworn pipes up and says,
Go where? Do you know why these orcs are surrounding this mountainside? They're all over it.
Towards the mountain. He points towards the mountain.
yeah.
There. We must go, not you.
Going in there. You'll die.
It's a fucking volcano and it's...
I'm going to walk over towards the flava and sort of dip a toe in.
After I embrace Drift, I'm gonna hug 19 as well. And I realize that's like walking to Drift and then to 19, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I was all about it. I'm not against it at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't hug back. He goes right back to saying, there's no time for it. We have to go.
Okay.
Stonesworn says,
Do you know what's causing it? What is happening here?
Something far grander than all of us, unfortunately, and we have to do our best to stop it.
Well, then let us help you.
Do you have weapons? Perhaps some armor?
Perhaps a bow.
You can help yourself to the weapons.
and he kind of nods towards one of the archers down away from you and says,
The bow. Over there, from Irila.
and she turns around and heads towards the dead body, grabs a bow. The armor, if you wish to, you can take it from the dead.
If you guys go in there with us, you won't survive the fire.
Well, we're heading up the mountain anyway. Zalera's up there, ahead of us.
You will die.
What is it? What's making these orcs appear? We've been tracking them for so long. They've been moving around this area.
Too many questions and not enough time to answer all of them.
That is like so weird to hear from 19.
I'm telling you right now, this is just for audience. I don't know what is going on with 19. I'm so confused.
Right. Yeah, same.
Drift.
I mean, you all have a pretty good idea.
I want to kiss him. I want to tell him how much I love him, but I don't know what's happening.
I mean, you all saw pretty much everything that everyone saw the same kind of things. You know that there's a ritual happening inside the Gate of Fire, which you also know is inside this mountain, where the volcano is erupting kind of ahead of you. Up near the top of that is the exit that you came out of, where the long stick was, that thing that you fought in that cave. You're heading up towards it. This is the same path you took down the mountain when you guys headed down the mountain previously. We kind of jumped over it, but you traveled down the mountain. You saw sunrise when you came out, and you could see the smoke rising from the burned village. You're like most of the way up that mountain already. Down below you, as you look down, you can see down the mountainside. There's a forest that spreads out. You moved through the forest. There was the saber-tooth that you fought, and then to the village of Drit, which was burned and smoking. It's kind of hard to see because it's nighttime. There is a good amount of light lighting up the area, but it's not that wild. You can see it lighting up with a purplish light all around you. Yeah, like it's not close, but it's not that far away. Somewhere above you is that where the entrance was, whether it's still there. There's just an explosive volcano, basically, and you know that is at least one of the entrances. Stonesworn just seems to be here, but he's kind of looking somewhat confused towards you, but he also seems to kind of trust you. In terms of what's around you, there's plate armor, there's studded leather. You can help yourselves to longbows, short swords, great swords, and daggers. So if you want to take any of those weapons.
No crossbows?
There's heavy crossbows. Roll me a d20.
You said there was a javelin as well.
Oh, and javelins. Sorry, yeah. The orcs had javelins and great axes. What did you roll? A 5. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any crossbows or light crossbows, just heavy crossbows.
Brad, question for my character. I have superior body now, which I get like it's literally a
thing he has, yeah.
It's my racial thing. It's called superior body, all right? Don't laugh at me, I'm serious. While you're wearing no armor, your armor class equals 12 plus your dex modifier.
Correct.
But it's showing my AC is 18 still.
Yeah, you've probably still got whatever armor you had on in your items. Yeah, you had scale mail before. You don't have that anymore. You can delete it and remove it. No, you. What are you proficient in? Medium armor, and that's it. So no, scale mail is medium armor. You can take studded leather.
It's almost worth fighting naked. Right?
Your AC would be, I think. Yeah, 15. And with studded leather, it gives you,
Wait,
sorry.
How does this flame on thing work? Is it like indefinite? Like I can just leave it on?
Will, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, fuck armor. I'm gonna stand here like a flaming.
I'm looking for.
Well, you can still do it in armor. You don't need to not be wearing. It doesn't burn your clothes.
Fuck it, I'm gonna be a naked elf.
Studded leather is 12 plus your dex modifier. Plate mail
that's what I had before. I'll get some studded leather and a dagger and a short sword.
Yep. Okay.
And a long. Is there a short bow or is it only long bows?
Give me a d20. Luck.
Oh!
McKinnon. She comes over to you and she says, do you know how to use this? And thrusts a short bow out towards you.
Whew, hot.
I take her hand with the short bow and I say, if it's from you, I'll learn.
She grabs you round the cuff of your, well, you ain't wearing clothes, so she grabs you by the front of your little short shorts and pulls you in and says, "Don't die," and then pushes you back. And then as she kind of turns around, she says, "That short bow means a lot to me."
I'll take the dearest care of it.
Stonesworn's like barking orders. He says,
Right, we're going to move up the hill. Zalera's up there with her troop. We need to regroup with them and keep pushing up. Push these bastards back.
he turns back to you and says, "Did you go to Rosegard? Any word?"
No.
Protect the gate of fire. Protect the gate of flames. Stop the interloper. Stop the ritual. We've wasted too much time already.
He's right.
We have to go.
Let's go.
Right. We're heading that way anyway, so we'll follow you. So each of you is taking anything? Are any of you taking any of the other weapons or armor?
Yes.
I'm taking a short sword, a dagger, and the short bow and the studded leather.
Feel free to add them. You also look like a Rosegard scout now. And you said you're taking any of it, Rin?
Yes, I am taking a dagger, a javelin, and a longbow. And obviously like a arrows if I can find
have the masks of Nightstorm anymore, right?
No, you have none of your stuff that you had before.
Right.
I don't have my 650 gold.
No. You do not.
I'm
really sorry.
Damn it!
Shit.
No, but Frostbite has some very nice gold teeth now.
Can I roll to see how many arrows I collect, or a quiver, or?
You can just take a quiver of 20, or you can pretty much take as many
Thank
as you
you.
want. There's plenty around.
I would like to do something, Brad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I'm in a hurry, the only thing I want to do is I want to look down at the war sheaf and see if there's anything that he had that I could take off of him that might be worth it for me to take, because he's probably the biggest and strongest and probably had the most neat things there.
He had chainmail, which is a lesser heavy armor, so I figured that no one would care. Really, all he had on him was a great axe. He has a few sort of like ornamental looking things. He has like a weird like dream catcher that's attached to him, but he doesn't seem to have any stuff. None of the orcs do. They just seem to be here. They have their weapons and whatever stuff they had, they may have left at an encampment nearby or something like that, but they don't. It looks like they were prepared to fight here, whereas Stonesworn and that seem to have their stuff with them. There's like packs and stuff on them.
Extra hour. Let's go. I'm kidding.
No.
So he didn't have anything outside of that.
I wish I
I know.
No, he just has a great axe and the armor on him.
He starts walking to the direction of where we're supposed to be going.
All right. Let's see, who's the furthest up here? 19 and Iro. Give me perception checks first.
22.
Persuasion. Don't click it.
Perception, sorry.
I almost clicked it. 22 as well.
What?
22 and 22. There
Lucky
is,
number.
I just want to try.
as you turn around, you notice
You fool.
flying towards the group here is a javelin. You can give me dex saves to try and like bat it out of the way or remove
All of
it.
us?
An 8.
Just the two that saw it. An 8.
Can I?
alright.
Oh no.
Okay,
Dex save.
Yep, I'm trying to see if I have any bullshit. Nope, just dex save. 16 for me.
This thing is heading straight for McKinnon. Iro kind of like sees it and begins to stumble forward as suddenly there's a dung 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 boom with the shield. 19, you knock this thing out of the way from in front of McKinnon as it just it launches one way. And that is
Do
when
I see who threw it? Do
yes.
I see who threw it?
You absolutely do see who threw it. You all look up and above on the mountainside, kind of above where you are, you see a new band of orcs suddenly appear with their shields.
Blood horde, blood horde.
they kind of start chanting this thing, Blood Horde, in common. And appearing from the center of them, at the head of this group of orcs that suddenly start moving down the mountainside, you see a giant orc with pale skin and white as the as white as the skin that you saw on the first. There's eyes which are red like a devil, and he's got several small wounds on him, and all of these orcs above you look like they've been fighting already. But this guy has like scars all over him, and he's kind of moving casually towards you. He's wearing these robes which look suspiciously sort of un-orcish. He looks a lot more civilized. He's wearing like boots and clothing. He looks a lot different to when we saw him in the one shot. He raises a fist, and there's a ring on it which you might recognize as well, the same ring from the one shots. And it glows in the purple sort of firelight from behind him. And he raises his fist and then just points it forward as the orcs start to run. They just start running down the hill towards you, and he cries,
"As was promised, battle, glorious battle. If we win here, we ascend, my brothers, for the Blood Horde."
And he starts to run down towards you as well. And one last thing before we end, Iridia, above you, an owl hoots as we come to the end of the session here. The white orc appears.
Oh my god!
Thank you very much for playing.
I love you, Brad. Thank you.
Bringing us to the end of the sesh. Thanks for playing, players. Let me end all these sounds. Lots
that was good as shit.
That was so awesome.
Nice job. Wow.
Somebody level up.
That was Archimedes.
Was that me?
When I ran away earlier, I put something in my toaster oven real quick, so give me 1 second.
Alright, I got all these things in there. I can't move the scene. Well, thanks for playing, players, and thanks for watching, watchers. Hopefully it was vaguely enjoyable to watch us all mess around and play D&D. Coming into the end game as you guys push up the mountain towards the gate of Darkfire now. To try and stop all the bad guys. Let's do a round of shout-outs before we end the session, and we'll see everybody next week. OG group reunited, starting with, so that he can get on with eating his food, Mr. 19 returned to the group.
It's hot as shit, so I can't touch it.
But you're immune to fire now. Just eat it.
Oh, you are right. I am.
Where can people find you right now?
What?
Or in 5 minutes.
Oh, hi. You can. Oh, yeah. I'm going live after this. If you're bored, I'm going to go play some games. And if you want to come out, you can see me at twitch.tv/Tiger Rider. Sorry for some of you that are frustrated with how 19's acting. But
no, it's
suck it. Not you guys as players. I was reading chat.
Oh my god, he's not the same.
Suck it. You get put into a void for 2 weeks.
So I have a question for you. I know it was technically only 2 weeks, but did it feel like longer?
I would assume it felt like a lot longer than 2 weeks for anybody, I would assume.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
well, he was
though,
borderline going crazy. That was kind of how we set it up.
I really don't know when this is going to get to be a thing, and I was really going to save it for just like a funny moment, but I'm just going to say it. I hope everybody understands that he took everything with him, including a book. And he was able to read both the books. He had 2 books. He was able to read all of them. One of the books, what he has memorized, may have been the Noma Sutra. So, just as a fun canon, he's completely memorized the Noma Sutra. 100%.
He's learning at a geometric rate.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a story for another night.
Well, I think it is a story for when everything goes as planned. We all win, and I marry a gnome as night.
My family.
My family. I was your father.
All right. Well, go and head on over to tigerwriter.com com/.eu, and he will be playing video games in full cosplay as 19 for the whole week.
It's true.
Mr. John Sandman with a child named Hasmol. Where can people find you through the week? Are you even streaming yet? What's going on? You on?
Yeah, I've been streaming. I'm back. I'm back. Pretty much full time back. Had a baby. It's amazing. She's so cool. Beautiful baby girl named Liv. And thank you guys. I'm just glad to be back. I seriously missing 1 week. I'm the only one out of this group who's missed shows, and I feel like I have been, like. Really?
Shows you good.
You missed a show? Okay. Because you guys have done one shots without me, and you've done this orc is from one of the one shots, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have no idea who this is.
Oh my god.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Shout out to my girl Lily.
It won't affect anything.
None of us
as
know
characters, none of you know what it is. It was. Just,
and by the way, for everyone who's watching, I had zero clue what Brad was doing. He didn't tell me about any of this.
His whole character sheet has got some crazy changes to it as well.
No, I didn't know anything. He literally
sort of knew. You were like, do I have a different character sheet? And I was like, oh.
I saw another one and I didn't want to say anything. I was like, oh, this is probably me when I get my flame on stuff. I thought I was going to do exactly what everyone else had to do last week, which is fight something and do something and win.
Right, yeah.
To get to the next. But mine was just sort of like, yo, this is.
You actually got sent on the D100 you rolled to go to a different plane. You were actually sent to a place called Sky Home, which is pretty similar to where Rin went, but wind. It was like the home of the wind elementals and stuff like that. There's a big Kosuth type primordial god there that's a woman, and she's based on sort of wind and the element of wind and sky and freedom and shit like that.
Avatar series.
And you were flying upwards towards her, but you've already made a pact. Before you made a pact with Hasmol,
a long time ago. Yeah, this was already decided. My choice was
you were going
if I wanted to survive or not when I was 5 years ago, which was when I was
off to see the
15,
first
14,
and now you are the first.
Oh my god,
it's so cool, Brad. It's so cool. I'm very excited for these next episodes to just. I need to learn this character. Same character, same guy.
Yeah,
but just
you got a couple of things extra you
can do.
There's
Stuff.
Yeah, it's not easy. Your character has changed in a way that you've got a whole new twist on how to approach things. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the vessel will survive.
The vessel.
Stop it, Brad. I am enjoying life right now.
Well,
thank you guys.
Don't make pacts with things in the Shadowfell, maybe. Let's see who's next. Pumpkinberry.
Me.
Did you make a pact?
This show is awesome.
Thank you. Well,
yeah.
I don't know why I'm taking that much credit, but
it's amazing.
You're the GM.
You're the GM. This is your world.
Well, it might have been amazing because you
Shut
just
up and
love
take
John's
it.
role play.
God. Okay, that's it. I GM tomorrow. So if you want to come by and see Nocturne, you can do that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
All right. PB does not stream on her own channel, which is twitch.tv/pumpkinberry, or there is a vanity URL, which is twitch.tv/Karen, which you should try and get just for me.
Okay, I'm sure.
I want to be able to do /R or /raid Karen, and it works.
What if we do, because we can do a vanity URL on Tablestory, so it can be tablestory.tv/Karen.
Yeah, there you go. Done. And then Mr. Wax Steven, what you got going on this week?
Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed me playing Erodeer, who was super happy to see everybody again. And I had a blast. I love doing weird combat with Erodeer. It's so much fun. Thank you as always for watching, chat. We appreciate you. Much love to you. Thank you so much. And thank you to Tiger. Thank you, John. Thank you, PB. And thank you, Brad, for being awesome role players.
So good.
Coming to like the end game of the show is you want it to keep going on forever. I mean, really, but as a GM myself, you also want to have those shows like end on a high note, right? You always want to leave everybody yearning for more. So it's a good time because I think we all want that. We all want like 50 more episodes. So that's the time to do it. So thank you, Brad, for doing an awesome campaign. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you come by tomorrow for Nocturne. Otherwise, I do a show called Zero Blue Orion on Mondays. That is mecha anime as fuck.
It's so great. And I
And
highly
Brad's in
recommend
Thursday's
you
show,
watch it.
and sometimes he runs Thursday's show.
Well, I'll get there. I'm on Thursday's show. If you want to watch another D&D show, we have Ragtags on a Thursday. Sometimes we do Zigzags when the cast isn't there or whatever. I run a just completely randomized campaign called Zigzags. And if you donate to our St. Jude fundraiser, which is below the stream, and we hit the 2K mark, which we're approaching, we're going to do a very special episode of Zigzags, which we're just going to be. It's going to be kind of like a day long, crazy, wild, giant cast fuck around. If we hit the 2,000 mark, and I'll go ahead and run that and prepare that. We actually prepared a world for the next Zigzags, which was Waterworld.
The one with the Karen disease?
Escape to America, and there is a disease ravaging the world called Karen. So if you want to see that play out, then help us with the St. Jude campaign. That's a charity children's research hospital fundraiser. It's not just us raising funds for a Zigzags campaign. So all that money goes towards kids at St. Jude's and helping them research all these diseases. My voice is going. I've done too much speaking, and we'll see you next week. It's not over yet. You guys are all doing your goodbyes. We've still got a little bit left to go. It's not like next week's the last episode. We've still got.
Oh, thank God.
We've still got a decent few episodes to get through, but we are most assuredly in the end game now. As you've landed in the you're on the boss mountain. This is it.
That's the best news ever.
That's the best news.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head over to tablestory.com/Karen, where you can give me money for being me. I've been PB, and I'll see you tomorrow for Nocturne, which is...
We will see you soon.
Oh my
Have
God.
a great one.
Yeah. Oh my
Bye.
God. Thank you so much for watching. We love you.
Mocha Frappuccino out. Mocha.